All right, is it on? Okay. Um, hey guys, it's just me tonight. I wanted to try something, just fucking live streaming for the three people who watch my channel, I guess. So we're gonna just we're looking at our Avatar cringe today. I love Avatar. It's one of my favorite shows ever. And yeah, we're just gonna look at some cringe today. I wanted because nothing good came from Avatar after the first show. Like, after the show ended, they really didn't do anything good. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Hang on one second. All right. Sorry about that, folks. I had to do something really quick. To the 3 people watching, I apologize. But there's a long stint of silence. Maybe if I get like better computer stuff, I can like put like a little uh Yule log or something on there. I don't fucking know. But yeah, this is just Avatar cringe. Like because like at the end of the day, like Avatar was only good in the first show, and like after that, everything after the Avatar show kind of sucked. Like not even kind of, like it legitimately sucked. I don't like Korra. I don't like the movies. The movie, sorry. I don't like the Shyamalan movie. I don't. So I saw the new trailer. It looked good. I wanted to talk about that. But for right now, I just wanted to talk about like cringe stuff, like the Avatar community, people who like ride off Avatar, like to cusp off of, you know. Uh, so yeah, thanks for the 2 people watching. That's great. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's start off with a video that I'm pretty sure it's gonna be very unbiased and pretty good, and like give accurate depictions of like the skill level of 2 avatars from 2 different shows. They might as well be 2 different shows because they are so different. Avatar is like Star Wars, and Korra is like it's like they're like this. They're on par with the sequel trilogies. Of the fucking Avatar is like the original trilogy. Yeah, it had its problems, but it's still like classic. It's good storytelling through and through. Legend of Korra has a lot in common with the sequels trilogy, the Disney Star Wars movies, and we'll just keep it at that. So let's see their completely understandable ranking of like the 2 main characters from each series skill. That'll be great. Let's see that. Hang on. Let me just put this up here. Okay. We're good. We're great. We're golden. All right, let's go.
There's no denying Aang and Korra are some of the most powerful benders in the Avatar universe. But how do their skills compare to each other?
I mean, like this guy. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but this guy sounds like he's replacing the guy from Reading Rainbow. That's what he sounds like. Like he's trying to like he's that guy at the beginning of like PBS commercials. Thanks to viewers like you. Thank you. Like that's what this guy sounds like. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
Let's compare these 2 avatars based on their bending skills in all 4 elements, as well as their abilities in the Avatar state.
Well, that's not fair to Aang because Aang's actually powerful in the Avatar state. After season 2, Korra kind of makes like being Avatar state like, oh, I'm Super Saiyan, I guess. It makes her slightly stronger. I know they're gonna be biased against this, but like, yeah, the Avatar state just makes her like somewhat stronger. Gaming the Power 52. Yeah, I tried to give Korra a chance, but I could barely get past first 2. Yeah, like the problem with Korra is like a lot of people like to blame like, oh, they didn't have much time because they only had 1 season they were going to do. But I'm like, if you had 1 season, maybe cram as much story as you can in there as possible. There's pointless love triangles, fucking Quidditch. I know it's called pro bending, but it's Quidditch and it makes even less sense than Harry Potter. It's just fucking Quidditch, bro. Yeah, it's not great. Like Legend of Korra has never been good. People say, oh, it gets better in season 3. I shouldn't have to wait 3 seasons for a show to get good. And even then, Korra didn't become good after 3 seasons. I'm sorry. It didn't. Gaming with Power, you're not missing much. If you saw the first 5 episodes, so you're fine. You didn't miss much, buddy. I hope you like watched some. I don't know. It was like what came out around the time. Fucking. I don't know, like some good porn videos. I hope some good porn videos that sanction more of your time than Legend of Korra. Okay.
Let's take a look at their waterbending skills first. From the time Aang started his waterbending training, it was clear that he was a natural.
Looks like I got the hang of that move.
And because Korra grew up in the Southern Water Tribe, It's no surprise Korra was able to master our first skill on the list, the water tower.
Alright. I'm gonna like skip over these fight scenes because I don't want to get copyrighted by like Viacom. I only ever watched VR. You guys, yeah, Edgy, you're right. I've only watched. I'm sorry. ER is a good coverage for it, but I actually tried to watch the show. I remember my friends in high school said it was good, so I gave it a chance. It never got better. It never actually got better. It never got better. It never gets better. Nothing gets better. Nothing ever gets better. Yeah, I'm gonna skip over these scenes so I don't want to get like copyright struck by Viacom. Plus, they're not even all that interesting. I'm just gonna skip over to like the actual comparisons. So let's see here.
Upper hand on their opponents in the water.
Oh, that's right. YouTube's being a bitch. I can't skip over ads, guys. I'm sorry. So yeah. I wouldn't say it's a train wreck. It's more like the train went off the rails and it was a slight accident. Like it never. How do I put this? The show was bad, but it was never. Like how do I put this? The show was bad, but like season 2 got really bad, and then it kind of just stayed that bad for the rest of the show. So it was like consistently lukewarm bad. So I can't even really call it a train wreck. Because it never like exploded or like cracked. A train wreck would be an entertaining mess. Korra's kind of like a boring mess. It's like, oh yeah, we kind of had to stop the train, got to get on a new train. No one's really hurt. There's not gonna be there may be like a lawsuit or something, but yeah, like there's that like no, it's not really exciting. It's not bad in an exciting way. Is my point. This is not sponsored by Bounty. It's or I don't care about this shit. I tried blocking it, but like
I'm in love again. With this, my secret is
I don't care.
Our next skill requires slightly less water, but definitely still packs a splash. Key waterbending skill in close combat. Let's move on to the next skill.
Is it really just, oh, they could both do the skill at the same time? And, like, are they really doing that whole thing of, oh, no, guys, it's your choice. It's your decision. Pick the red pill or the blue. No, fucker. Actually compare the two, you fucker. I've tried, yeah, but, like, I'm going incognito mode, so that's, like, a few other things I gotta hop over. So, yeah. Remember the live-action Avatar movie from the way, what a twist. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I don't like the Shyamalan movies. Here's the thing. The Shyamalan movies are actually a train wreck. And like I said, a train wreck is bad, but it's entertainingly bad. It's like, it baffles me how many bad mistakes Shyamalan made. And honestly, like, I would rather watch the Avatar movie than watch Korra. I'd rather watch the Shyamalan. You can quote me on that. I'd rather watch the Shyamalan movies than watch Korra. Like, yeah, they are bad, but like I can at least enjoy them ironically. There's a lot of funny scenes in the Shyamalan movie. There's not a lot of funny scenes in Korra. I'm sorry. It's like made for like 13-year-old girls. 13-year-old white girls find Korra funny. The jokes in Korra funny. Like that. You know how like Sokka was like the super quirky one, the original show. Like they made all of the show like Sokka levels of quirk, and every character's like that. Even like the 40-year-olds who are supposed to be taken seriously are super quirky and act like 15-year-olds. It's kind of sad, honestly. It's kind of sad. Anyway.
Aang's. She's definitely more aggressive. There's no doubt both these avatars know how to ice bend. But if we're comparing Korra's technique to Aang's, tentacles down. This is one of Aang's most unique skills. Only Korra has the ability to heal. Even though both avatars were trained by Katara, only Korra has the ability to heal.
Yeah, what I find funny, and I don't like, and I remember, I don't have faith in the new Avatar series they're making on. I don't have faith in it either. It looks better. It looks objectively better than the Shyamalan movie, but like other trailers have also looked good. that doesn't mean that they're gonna be good. And even then, like, Avatar is one of those things where it's like, yeah, you don't really need to remake it. It's fine the way it is. just like how to put this, the One Piece adaptation. We are One Piece. The One Piece adaptation, live action adaptation, is better than it has any right to be. It's a decent like adaptation if you wanted to do live action, but at the same time, just watch One Piece. Just fucking watch One Piece. Like, the whole point of One Piece is that at its core, it's still like a gag manga. So like, some stuff won't translate to live action well. Just watch One Piece. There's no reason for like a live action adaptation. It's not bad. It's just unnecessary. You know, that's just my view on the One Piece show. It's not bad. Far from it. It's probably on the better. It's definitely on the better spectrum of like anime adaptations, live action. But like, it's so unnecessary, bro. I don't know.
Haven't you heard me enough, woman?
Relax, I'm a healer. I learned from Katara, the best there is.
No. That's the stuff.
I don't like how Bullet said that. That made me uncomfortable. Yeah, okay, fine, she can heal. Okay, like, the original show said it's kind of ironic how big a role, like, healing plays into the show when Katara literally said, I don't want to heal, I want to waterbend. I'm like, I want to be a waterbend warrior. And, like, healing is the most important thing she learned from the Northern Water Tribe. It's come in clutch so many times for the characters. Like, yeah, I'm all for, like, going up against misogyny or whatever, but the most important thing that you learned from the Northern Water Tribe was only taught to women. So hypothetically, if Katara was a guy, yeah, she would have been trained by like Pai Mei or whatever the fuck his name is. No, Paku, that was his name. If he was trained by Paku, she wouldn't have learned waterbending healing, and you know, she wouldn't have been able to heal Aang and save Aang's life and Zuko's life, and like heal multiple of her friends. Gee, it's almost like yeah, having the men on the front lines and the women be medics actually makes a lot of fucking sense from a strategic standpoint. I don't know. Anyway, back to it.
Wrapping up our waterbending skills, we have spirit bending.
Okay, I'm just gonna be real right now. Fuck off. Anything with like the spirit bullshit from like season 2 onward, I'm not counting, because at the very end of the day, like that, all of season 2 just retconned pretty much all of the lore of Avatar. All of it. Every last bit. So I don't ever want to hear this whole, oh, she can spirit bend, makes her better. No, fuck off. It did not, yeah, spirit bending existed in the original show, but like, it was the finale of it. Like, man, it's so fucking stupid, because the finale of, like, Avatar made it clear, yeah, this is a very rare, special thing that should be done sparingly or whatever, and has very serious consequences if done wrong. And then this, like, season 2 onward of Legend of Korra is like, yeah, spirit bending's not a big deal. It's just another form of bending, I guess, because fuck you. Dan Guy, if I might play devil's advocate, upon my recent watch of Legend of Korra, my view is season 1 is half a good season. Season 2, however, crapped itself and stink. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I still think, like, season 1 still wasn't good, dude. I'm sorry. Like, I get, like, there's some stuff to like. There's some stuff to like in every season of the show, obviously. Like, I'm not gonna be, like, hyperbolic and say that all of Korra objectively sucked completely. But, like, for the most part, it sucked more than it was good. Far more than it was good. Yeah, so, like, Korra, I'm not going to count. Is it true that Korra killed the spirits of all the... Yes, that did happen. People are going to say, oh, but it was Unalaq. No, because at the end of the day, Korra pulled a lot of dumb bullshit. Basically, everyone telling her not to do this one thing, and she does the one thing anyway. And that ultimately ends up having Unalaq become the Dark... It's so stupid. It's so retarded. I don't want to... Yeah, you could make that argument if it was technically Unalaq, but it's like, okay, like, let me give you an example. It's like saying, oh, it's like saying, what's a good example? It's like saying, oh, it's like, when, what's a good example? Like when, Luke, like, it's like this idea of, like, hey, this wouldn't have happened if you just listened to everybody. So, like, a lot of people like to pull this, oh, Unalaq was actually to blame. Unalaq did technically do it, don't get me wrong. But, like, if Korra literally just listened to anybody, everyone who told her it was a bad idea to try to unleash the spirits or whatever, everyone who told her, like, yeah, don't try to fight this guy head on because you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand what's happening. Please don't go in head first like an idiot. And she still does that anyway. And yeah, she gets all the previous avatars killed, and no one brings it up after season 2. No one brings it up. You know, the thing that gave the avatar form, like the avatar state, it's all of its power. Yeah, that's just kind of gone, and no one really brings it up anymore. like I swear to God, like fucking avatar state becomes. So they basically pulled the new Star Wars by pretty much killing off the legacy character. Not really. It's more like, hey. You know, this thing that gave you all this power, that made you like a threat, that made you pretty much a god. Yeah, it's like Kaioken now, or Super Saiyan. It's just another form, bro. It gives you a slight power. Again, yeah, Unalaq technically cut it off. I'm not pretending he didn't. But at the very end of the day, it was Korra's stubborn hard-headedness, like going into the situation when everyone told her to knock it off, to stop it, to sit down and think about what you're gonna do next, that actually like got Korra in that situation to begin with. So yeah, Unalaq cut off the connection. Yes, you're right, Dan Guy. But at the same time, you have to understand that no, it was still Korra's fault. It was still Korra's stupidity that got her in that situation. And again, they just kind of brush it off because now the Avatar states, no, they're dead. They explicitly said, like, even the creator said their spirits are gone. There's not like, oh, they're still there. They're just not. He just lost connection. No, they're dead. Their spirits are essentially dead. The creators confirmed it. I'm just putting it out there. Yeah. So that's riveting. Yeah, Avatar, like Aang's. Yeah, that's fair. It's still partially her fault. She still initiated it, but yeah, Unalaq is at fault too. I'm not pretending he didn't do anything wrong. Let's continue. I'm gonna skip over.
Although Korra struggled to master it at first, she eventually used it to save the world.
Technically, no. That is wrong. That's not what happened. Because people are gonna say, "Oh, Korra like defeated Unalaq by spirit bending." That wasn't her. That was Aang's granddaughter. She did some spirit world bending bullshit, and actually is the one who defeated Unalaq. People forget that part. It wasn't Korra who did that. It wasn't Korra. It was like I forgot her name, but like it's like Aang's granddaughter, who also became like a master spirit bender and airbender at an even younger age than Aang, despite knowing considerably less, considering that Tenzin has third-hand knowledge of the shit. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Hey, guys, it's fine. It's fine.
Korra, please come in here.
From a young age, Korra was bending Earth effortlessly.
I'm the Avatar.
Oh my god, I want to kill myself. Okay. Yeah, point that out, guys. Point that out. Did Azula ever show up in Katara? Korra, I don't think so. I don't think that's what happened. I think like the priestess in season 2, like the firebending priestess, was being alluded to being Azula, but I'm not sure. Never really heard that from the creators. I'm gonna need a link to an interview or something. Hope you don't think I'm doubting of you. I mean, dude, you can like be skeptical on the internet. I could be just being a lying asshole for all I know. I just remember them explicitly stating that their spirits are gone. It's not like she lost her connection. I remember hearing that somewhere. Their spirits are just gone, dude. Like they're just dead. They're just evaporated into existence. Yeah. Yeah, this scene. I'm the Avatar. I am Rey Skywalker. Oh my god, it's so bad. Yeah, except if Rey was a bitch. She's bitch Rey. She is bitch Rey. That's what Korra is. She is a Mary Sue down to her core. But he was like, no, Korra fails. Korra has problems and has to come up with solutions. No, Korra doesn't solve any of her fucking problems. Here's what happens in Legend of Korra. It's a cyclical thing. Anytime Korra has a problem, that problem either handles itself, someone else resolves it, or people just ignore it. You can find an interviewer. I don't care, dude. Like if I'm wrong, fine, whatever. But like I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they made it clear that the spirits are just gone. It's not even like she lost connection to them. They're just gone. Either way, still stupid. Yeah, it's like either Korra's problems either get ignored, has someone else solve them for her, or they just end up solving themselves. Like every major conflict just has Korra punching the bad guy. And the problem either, like, usually just solving itself or just people ignoring it. That's usually what happens in Korra. I swear to God that happens. Yeah, but she's kind of a Mary Sue. She learned bending at this age, even though it's explicitly stated. It's explicitly stated in every fucking... Fuck me, man. No, I don't want that. Stop. Even they... like every season of Korra, Avatar pretty much explicitly stated that you have to understand the element before you could bend them. That is why it takes years for someone to bend one element, and why the Avatar, it takes them a longer time to bend 4. So the fact that Korra is bending like 3 of the 4 elements somewhat effortlessly at 4 years old, that's just kind of stupid, especially considering that they actually do follow through on it with like air being the only element she's bad at, and like that's the only time they're consistent with it. Like she doesn't pick it up right away, but like the other elements she just bends just fine because fuck you, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you gotta deal with it.
But Aang initially struggled to perform even the most basic earthbending techniques.
Yeah, because they said in the original show, you have to understand the element first. Just because they broke their own rules in the second show doesn't mean that suddenly makes Aang bad. No, what Aang is going through is a perfectly reasonable amount of time to learn bending. In fact, again, remember, he pretty much mastered waterbending. He was already an airbending master. He already mastered waterbending. By the end of the series, he was pretty much proficient at earthbending. The only one he was still kind of practicing with was firebending. And he did all of that in a year. So yeah, they did all of that. He did all of that in a year, which again usually takes the Avatar a decade, or at least 2 decades to even learn all 4 elements. So yeah, they established that early on in the show, but that's how it works. And the fact that Aang did so much in a year is very impressive, even if he didn't technically master all 4. That's something they even pointed out in the original show. By the end of the series, he didn't technically master all 4 elements. He was doing fine, but he didn't master all 4 of them in a year, technically. Just the best we could do. Like, again, just breaking your rules in the next show doesn't automatically make Korra better. It makes your writing lazier.
I'm ready.
Despite his rocky start, he eventually mastered it. For effective blocking technique in close combat.
Okay, they're just kind of going over like the fucking abilities. I'm gonna skip to the parts where they're like actually comparing the two.
Let's move on to the next skill. This next.
Oh my god, fuck you, YouTube, I hate you!
New Pampers Swaddlers helps prevent blowouts.
I don't care. I don't care about the babies.
Mr. Clean Multi-Surface Liquid Cleaner.
Alright, I kind of care about Mr. Clean. Mr. Clean's kind of hot, but okay, move on, come on.
Even though we only see Aang use this skill once, that's still more time for Korra.
Oh yeah, because like seismic sense doesn't matter in the next show because like people can just metal bend, I guess. Because fuck you. This isn't an egregious as rated me because this least baby Korra is bending a small amount, still more believable than a Snoke bested. I'm sorry, I don't care, dude. They both suck. Let's agree to disagree. They both suck. They're not well written characters. Let's just agree to disagree on that at the very least. technically Aang was better at his first time fire. Not really, because remember he did that with the guy, like he tried to learn the elements out of order. Again, that's something the show hammered in. You got to learn the elements in order to like understand them properly. And he tried to learn fire before he learned earth, and because of that, his fire got out of control and it burned Katara. Again, it was brilliant. It was a great way to show it. Here, it's just like, oh yeah, she could just firebend like brilliantly, even though she's never done it. Like, my God, it's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It's just so fucking stupid.
This is another skill Aang may have learned from Toph. Not have learned this skill, but she certainly mastered the next one.
Yeah. So yeah, that's two things that Aang learned. Again, seismic sense, I don't know, because again, even the sequels, like again, Korra doesn't bring up seismic sense at all. I think about it because again, seismic sense was like imperative to learning metal bending because you got to feel the earth within the metal. But in Korra, they just kind of metal bend and kind of skip over that part, I guess. It also makes seismic sense so overpowered that it's actually kind of silly. If you don't know, like Toph's abilities get so powerful, she can literally stay on one spot and see like everything that's happening in the world. Which doesn't make sense. Like she knows everything that happened to Korra, at least the majority of what happened, all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of stupid. That's kind of fucking stupid. But okay.
Try to focus on the fine pieces of earth within the metal.
I can't believe it. I'm metal bending.
Wow. You picked that up really quick.
I mean, she is a Mary Sue. Remember again, Toph had to like train herself explicitly to get metal bending to where it was by the end of the series. Again, Korra picks it up in like a few minutes. That's great. I love how we had this like strong magical system with consistency, and it's just now superpowers. Bending's just superpowers in Legend of Korra. It's a quirk from My Hero Academia. That's all it is. No, not even that, because of My Hero Academia, they're consistent with, like, you gotta train and use it properly. It's not even that. My Hero Academia has a better, like, power system than Legend of Korra, which already had a good one, but again, ruined it. Because fuck you, I guess. Jesus Christ, okay.
Guess you're that
metal bending avatar.
Job, Korra.
Korra became the first metal bending avatar. Even though Korra mastered metal bending, neither she or Aang would unlock the power to lava bending. It's time to move on to the element of fire. When it came to learning how to firebend, Aang struggled a lot.
An accident. I was.
Zuko sought out the true meaning. Fire is arguably Korra's most used element for close.
Yeah, because all she does is fucking blow fire at people. She's a fucking psychopath. Yeah, Korra, from what I remember, Korra doesn't use a lot of strategy. It's always just punching people. Like, one of the things I loved about Avatar is they use bending in very interesting and complex ways. Yeah, like, she, like in the original, like I said, with like fucking metal bending, it's like, oh, she used seismic sense to like sense the metal with like the earth within like crude metal, and that was how she could bend metal. That's kind of how that worked. If metal was more pure, like saying like, I don't know, like fucking a sword that's like more or less pure steel, she probably couldn't bend it properly. But again, it was consistent. It was cool to see them like use water and like air and all these other elements in unique ways. In Legend of Korra, it's just punching people with elements. And that's kind of boring, not gonna lie. that's kind of boring. And I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's kind of boring.
Close combat. Bending skill. Iroh got his title, suddenly leave bending move. We've only seen the likes of Avatar Roku and Fire Lord Ozai use it. That is, until Korra unleashed it. Although neither Aang or Korra seem to be able to produce lightning, Aang does have the ability to redirect it. Luckily, it seems like Korra never had to use this skill in battle.
It's kind of weird because, like, again, this is like in the original show. It's like, oh, this is a rare, dangerous technique that only a handful of people can use with absolute fucking focus. And in the new show, it's like, oh yeah, we're using it to power electricity. That's how many firebenders know, like, fucking a lightning bending. Nothing matters anymore. Jesus Christ. To quote a line from Tommy Lee Jones, when it comes to Korra, I don't care. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care. I don't like her, but, like, again, like, she doesn't bother me as much as Rey, I guess because with, like, I don't know. I don't know. She just sucks. They both suck. I'm not comparing these two. They both just kind of suck. Korra's a half a good character. No, she isn't. She's fully bad. She just sucks. Inconsistent, strong female character. Blah blah. Yeah, she's like, the problem with Korra is she's just a cunt, and people think that makes her suddenly a good character. Like a lot of quote unquote strong female characters, like, yeah, just make him a cunt. Just make him a fucking cunt. Now they're 3-dimensional. They're so developed and well thought out because they're terrible people. They're a shitty you're a shitty person that makes you deep. Yeah, that's how writing characters work. I knew there was a scene like that where Korra is screaming, "She's the Avatar," and the villain just suddenly just. Well, that was Amon in the first season, where he's like, "Yeah, like he actually beat Korra. I could have taken her bending away at that moment." He's like, "My goals are so above you that I'm not even gonna bother taking your bending away." And it's a badass scene from a good villain until the twist where it's one of the stupidest twists I've seen. How do you make a twist that makes a villain so fucking terrible? A decent enough villain who was, like, intimidating, he seemed badass. I was like, okay, cool. And then, like, when the twist reveal of the character, like, man, this guy fucking sucks. Oh, brother, this guy stinks! But, yeah. Let me see here. Sorry if I feel like I'm being like blanket. I don't care, dude. I'm just happy people are here. Like, I don't really have it in me to be as harsh as you guys. Do whatever you want, man. I don't care. Like, I'm just telling you how it is.
But neither Aang or Korra have the ability to combustion bend. But
Is that what it's called? Combustion bend?
Imagine that'd be a pretty shocking ability combined with the Avatar state. Native element. At the age of 6, he was a better airbender than kids twice his age, and his master airbending tattoos.
Possible.
Or a struggle to airbend at all.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that scene. I love that scene where they literally don't explain how she's able to airbend. Yeah, like I swear to God, like, for those of you in the chat who haven't seen Korra, here's what happens. Like, we're like 2 or 3 episodes in, Korra's struggling to airbend. She, like, goes to, like, Quidditch, whatever, like, fucking pro bending or whatever. And then after going to pro bending, it's like, oh, she's learning the move she needs to airbend coincidentally. Which is bullshit because like, pro bending's literally all about being offensive, and, like, airbending is explicitly a passive element, but whatever. But ignoring that, it never comes up for the rest of the show. Her being spiritually stunted is never brought up for the rest of the show after that. Her learning to airbend is barely brought up after that. And then out of nowhere, RKO out of nowhere, she suddenly can just airbend from punching. Because that's how that works. Okay, yeah, okay, sure, why not? Okay, fine, whatever, it's cool, guys, it's fine.
Unstoppable. This is harder than this. Great for games, too.
Oh my God, YouTube, I don't fucking care!
When you get your next big idea, say...
YouTube, fuck off! Okay, back to it.
We can't ever need to use this technique. Skill is so... as both Korra and Aang have mastered it.
You know, it's funny. Like I don't know. I haven't seen this video all the way through. But I'm just gonna call it like maybe Aang knows more like what like airbending abilities, not because he's better at it inherently. I mean, he probably is, but maybe it's because he uses like bending in a creative ways. Turn off that yeah, blocking on. Yes, thank you, Edgy. But like, not only that, if you look through it, like Aang is like using his bending in unique, interesting ways. And from everything I've seen of Korra, it's almost always the same thing, just fucking punching stuff. It's like almost always that, and that's kind of annoying. Again, like imagine like finding out all these like different force abilities and like fucking Star Wars, and then all you do is just force push people all the damn time. I mean, yeah, it'd be effective a good chunk of the time, but like for the most part, you have so many other abilities you could use that would be just as, you know, useful. But you choose to just force push all the time. That's what this feels like with Korra. I swear to God, she only uses offensive shit, like blast people with shit. That's it.
Aang's iconic skills. The sphere can even withstand the blast of an explosion. The sphere can even withstand the blast of an explosion.
Okay, that's just stupid.
Both Aang and Korra were able to use this
Shoot.
avatar state at will, often only activating it when he.
I'm sorry, I traded them there.
After some spiritual work with Guru Patik, and sometimes a conveniently positioned rock, Korra was able to access the avatar state with less obstacles, often utilizing it in battles and races.
Like I said, man, like again, Avatar State made you a fucking god. Like literally, like if you fought Aang in the Avatar State, you weren't winning. That's how powerful the Avatar State was. Like, but like with Korra, it's just like kind of like a super. It's kind of like Super Saiyan in Dragon Ball Z now. Like anybody can just become Super Saiyan. There's no big deal. There's no like spiritual awakening. She didn't have to go through any like spiritual training or anything like that. She just got it. Because fuck you, I guess. Like, I'm not even joking. She loses all her powers, cries, and like Aang just gives her the Avatar State because fuck you. Yeah, that's how she got the Avatar State.
No.
These skills. In the Avatar State, Aang and Korra are able to take and restore bending.
Also, by the way, I love this part too. Waterbending can apparently. Korra seems like the I'm good at everything because fuck you. That's what type of. Yeah, exactly. Fuck you. That's why. How could she do this? Fuck you. That's why. Also, yeah, if you haven't seen Korra, in season 1, it turns out that bloodbending can somehow take away all bending somehow. This leads to a lot of implications, like how does that happen? How does waterbending take away your ability to bend? How does and even if you want to do that, like, wouldn't that mean that waterbenders kind of become the most OP like benders in the story now? If like they could figure out if they could wait till the full moon and get someone to take their bending away. Again, what made it special is only the Avatar could energy bend. So it was kind of cool. It was like only he has the ability to. It's like a bending lobotomy. Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. And thank you, noob. It doesn't make any sense. If they were more clever, they could have brought it up more often that Korra is abusing the Avatar state like a toy. I guess what they tried to do, but it wasn't. Yeah, they make it clear that Korra sees being the Avatar as a privilege rather than a duty. Like, she should be able to do whatever she wants because she's the Avatar. She's the Avatar, fuck you. But, yeah, they don't really pull that off well because anytime someone criticizes her, Korra just cries. And the story tries to make the person criticizing her look like an asshole. Yeah, that's what they do every single fucking time. And it's really annoying. They do that every season, by the way. It's not just season 1. They do that almost every season. Yeah, Korra acts like a cunt. If someone calls her out for being a cunt, and then that person either has to apologize or turns out to be evil. That's happens every fucking season. She doesn't actually fucking grow. Yeah, and again, Noob, like you said, it doesn't work because, like, they don't explain how water bending, or blood bending more particular, can take away bending in general. Because again, it's stated that only the Avatar can energy bend. So how the hell does that work? And again, like, doesn't this make water benders, more specifically blood benders, OP? Like, okay, they never explain how that works, and they kind of just gloss over it. It's like, yeah, you can do that, and then it's never brought up again for the rest of the show. Like, holy shit. All right. I'm sorry, but like, it's just so many parts of Legend of Korra irk me because of how stupid it is. Doesn't it? Again, no, he died. This is also stupid. He died at around like 50 years old because apparently being in the iceberg cut down his lifespan, and the Avatar can only live for a certain amount of time. It's pretty fucking stupid. I don't know, man. I don't know, Mr. Krabs. I don't know. No, Aang dies in season 2. His spirit dies. I was assuming mine was kind of sus because this way of taking away bending was different from Aang's, but I wish some advanced cheat kind of then make. Even chi blocking is like a temporary thing, and it's like when they chi block, it's like, oh, they're blocking like blood pathways, so you're not able to move and bend properly. That's what chi blocking is. Like blood bending is like, I don't know what blood bending is because they don't explain it. They bring it up in season 1 and never bring it up again for the rest of the show. It's weird. Like, imagine, like, it's like bad anime rules. Yeah, here's a super powerful attack that I have that we're never going to use again. And also, this is also something I want to point out. If Korra does have energy bending, why don't they, like, take her to all the criminals who, like, abuse their bending and take it away? Why doesn't she do that? Well, why doesn't Korra do that? I mean, sure, why didn't Aang do that either, to be fair? Aang could have done that too, like, go down to criminals. Oh, this criminal did this. Hold him down so he can take his bending away. I'm like, yeah, why don't they do that? Why don't they just do that? A guy killed a guy by fire bending him to death, by lighting him ablaze. Take away his bending. Like, no, Eddie, like, here's the thing. Blood bending, you could only use it during the full moon. And it did take a lot of focus and practice to do so too, but you can only use it during the full moon. And that's why it's very rare to use. That's why very few people can use it. Even then, you still have to focus and concentrate and train to use it too. The problem that the show has is they kind of break that too. Because, like, one of the characters, like, his name is Hakone, or whatever, from the past, like, had the ability to bloodbend, but he basically just used it like the Force, and could, like, bloodbend, like, an entire courtroom of people, no problem. Because fuck you, that's why. Also, his sons have that ability, too. Because fuck you, that's why. I guess bending's like Kekkei Genkai's now, from fucking Naruto, that's great. Anyway, back to it, let's get this over with.
In these cosmic forms, the Avatar's powers are unbeatable. Community always fruitful.
I knew I shouldn't have asked Kiyoshi.
I just want to be left alone.
But you called me here. Self.
How?
When we hit our lowest point, we are open to the greatest change.
No, fuck off. That's not how the Avatar state works. They explicitly explain that you have to get in tune spiritually in order to do that. Korra did not get in tune spiritually. She just cried. She bitched and cried because she lost her powers because she was an idiot.
This next skill proved to be an important tool for both Avatars.
Perhaps he will...
Oh my god, I fucking hate this one because it's so fucking contradictory. Holy shit. That makes way more sense why people don't use it often. Yeah. In the Immortal World Done Explain. Yeah. Fucking Doug Walker. This one's gonna be like, they'll just see. Watch this. It's stupid.
Will return soon.
What? No, I'm right here.
Even if they weren't entirely aware when they were doing it. Spirit World, the Avatar has a special connection to the realm. Aang and Korra's...
Yeah, but here's the thing. in the original show, it stated that Aang is like the bridge between is the bridge between the Avatar is the bridge between the spirit world and the human world. They explicitly state that in the original show. Very few people could actually go to the spirit realm because it was like a state of mind you had to be in order to go to it. It wasn't like a physical place. Like, spirits could affect the physical world, but the spirit world wasn't a physical place. It was like a higher level of being, a higher level of existence you have to focus in order to get to. With Korra, it's just another world. You can open portals. Yeah, because that's more interesting, right? It's yeah, sure, why not? Fuck you.
His Avatar state skills are pretty similar, but only Korra was able to open a new spirit portal and initiate a new spiritual age.
A new spiritual age. Yeah, okay. Also, she can open a spirit portal because spirit portals didn't exist in the original show. Fuck you! Like, how can you say that? Like, oh, this character has this new power that this character doesn't have. It's because it didn't exist! It contradicts the lore! Fuck! My god, this is stupid!
Skill evolution comparison of Avatar Aang and Avatar Korra.
Okay, let's look at some of like the fucking comments. Hopefully the comments will like give me peace of mind, I guess. Let me see. I think Korra has more raw power, but Aang is more nuanced and creative. Hard to compare them, but Aang's avatar state is way stronger. Yes. Thank you, Quest 105. Very cool. One correction, Aang does not need the avatar state to take or give someone's bending. That is a skill he possesses. Korra needs it because when you are in the avatar state, you can access the knowledge of past lives, in this case, Aang's knowledge. She may have learned it later again from Spirit Rava, but with Korra's connection to Aang gone, we are no longer sure if she can take. Yeah, you're right, my guy. Like that's something. Like I said, it's something to consider. She no longer has a connection to Aang, or at the very least, the spirit's gone. Aren't most of the spirits in the spirit world hostile to humans? That doesn't seem like a good idea. Yeah, edgy, kind of. Like, here's the thing: in the original show, spirits weren't uncommon. Spirits had their place. They were in the world, but they were kind of like, oh, yeah, they only interfered with humans when the world was unbalanced, when they were like interfering with nature and shit. That's the only time the spirits actually intervened, and they were somewhat hostile towards humans. Korra, why don't you back that up with a source? The source is she made it the fuck up. Yeah, but like again, season 2 retcon that, edgy. Now like spirits don't like humans now. They were kind of apathetic to them in the original series and only interfered when they were like fucking around with nature and shit. In Korra season 2 onward, it's like, oh, spirits don't like humans. Like, they shouldn't be together. They're hostile towards them. So another thing they kind of retconned because fuck you. Let's look at more of the comments. Let's see the comments. Aang was very balanced spiritually. He was far more skilled, and when he needed to be powerful, loved both of them. And Aang was definitely beat Korra 1-on-1. Yeah, like I said, Korra got her ass handed to her by a basic bitch fucking earthbender. Aang took on one of the most powerful firebenders of his time at the peak of his power during Sons of the Comet. Only like his fucking. When he wasn't even like using the avatar state, he was still holding his own against like Ozai. So like put that into perspective. She lost to a basic bitch earthbender. I don't think Korra actually won a fight against her like their main enemy. Like maybe I think like Kuvira at the end, but like yeah, for the most part she kind of lost to most of her enemies. Which again for like a very sushi kind of sucks. Aang didn't struggle with firebending, did he? Yeah, I just realized Aang was a prodigy. Toph was a prodigy, Azula was a prodigy, Katara was a prodigy, and Sokka was a high battle IQ prodigy. Let's not forget Aang fully realized Avatar age 12. Korra couldn't even airbend at age 18. True. I think Aang's feats are mastering all elements before adulthood is unmatched. Yeah. I feel like an important difference to mention between Aang and Korra is that Korra was learning how to fight with the elements. Aang, from what I saw, learned about the elements themselves. Now, thank you, adjective 25440. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. She is all offensive. Not like she's always offensive. She just fights with them. Like again, the whole point of the original show was like stating, "Hey, you gotta understand these elements in order to master them." I think Korra had an unfair advantage since she had been training her whole life. And blah blah whatever. Firebending came easy to Aang. The only reason he struggled because he learned the mental state was off because he injured Katara the first time he did it. After that, his fear stopped. Using it, blah blah. Clearly, both Aang and Katara are very skilled in both guild as both fighters and avatars, with Korra having far more natural talent as a warrior than Aang. However, while Aang took his time throughout the Avatar Last Airbender to develop proficiency at the same with each element, he also had a better understanding of the spiritual. Like, okay, like they are restoring my faith in humanity. Okay, so like people are aware. Like even people who like Korra are aware. Okay, that faith in humanity restored. Thank God. Okay. Could be a lot better if it took place more than a century after Aang's death, for example, technology, which I admittedly like. Yeah, it's fine. Like, yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know, man. Like, a lot of the problems are, like, yeah, they really didn't want to, like, go over, like, understanding the elements again. I think they thought it was too boring. They wanted more, like, cool bending shit. But, like, people forget, like, part of what made the bending so cool was we got to understand the elements so well. We got to understand the magic system in the world so well. In Season 2, Korra kind of boiled down its magic system to just superpowers. And because of that, you can't get invested in that. You just really can't. You can't get... Like, for instance, like Superman. You can't really get invested in Superman as he grows and develops his powers because his powers are just kind of just there. They're just kind of there because of the yellow sun. That's it. That's the explanation you need. He has super strength. He's invulnerable. Like, all that shit. That's all he needs. He needs the yellow sun. That's all he needs. And that's how he gets his powers. Here, it's kind of the same thing. Like, oh, yeah, they just have powers. Jesus Christ. Okay, she's poorly written, but you don't have to be a Mary Sue to be poorly written. That's just me. She was a Mary Sue because, like, in my opinion, everything is handed to her. They just have shit not go her way all the time and still have her kind of avoid responsibility for taking it over. Okay, yeah, like, let's what else was I gonna look up? Let me think. What else? I could look up the Vosh video where he says, like people would call Avatar woke nowadays. But honestly, it's kind of boring. It's kind of boring because it's mostly him just stating, oh, this is something good that I support. That makes it woke. I guess, and they would hate that. That's literally most of the video. Let's see, just Korra cringe, I guess. Let me think. If I can't find anything at that, I'll just, like, look into, like, even the showrunner, like, the people running this fucking YouTube channel are aware, yeah, all relationships aren't great. Like, okay, give them that. At least they have some fucking self-awareness. I will give them that. Yeah, I tip my hat to you guys. You have some self-awareness. You have some fucking self-awareness. Legend of Korra's relationships suck. They were terrible. All of them were bad. There's not a good one. There's not a single good one. Not a single one. Not a one. This is just straight up try not to cringe. Let me see here. Don't do this. Don't pull up like, oh, this is Hollow Knight Silk Song. Play now, free on desktop. Fuck off. Fuck off. Don't get people's hopes up. Okay, sorry. Every time Legend of Korra went totally anime. Like, yeah, Avatar was inspired by anime, but, like, yeah, I don't need, like, you pointing it out. Okay. Next Avatar, the Avatarists. just a fucking, like, guy with the... I believe it! I believe that they just go straight up, oh, here's the Blicky. We're gonna firebend. That would... Honest to God, if they went that route, I'd watch the show. As much as I hate Korra, I would watch that show. If they just had fucking firebenders with Blicky. Fucking fire bullets. That would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. I'd watch that. I would watch it ironically, but I'd still watch that. First rule I made for myself: never make a love triangle for my story, and if it is, the end game will be painfully obvious. I kind of have a story where I accidentally made a love triangle. I've already resolved it later on, but yeah, I get you. Just to give you an example of how, like, comparing Legend of Korra to Avatar. Avatar: The Last Airbender memes 3 years ago, 2.4 million views. Legend of Korra memes 2 years ago, almost as long, everything, 40k views. What does that say, chat? What does that say? And because you guys all said no, please don't. Yeah, I stole their thumbnail from here. He said, "Please, I'm looking up the Vosh video because fuck you guys. We're gonna watch some Vosh. We're gonna watch some Vosh. That's gonna be great. That's something you're really gonna love. I'm out of bending, but I'm not out of pulls out the strap. That would be funny. We're watching fucking. we're watching Vosh. We're watching Vosh. Look at this fucking thumbnail. Oh my shit. And the worst part is, like, this is all done unironically. Like, what is this, bro? Like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here, guys? Well, I'm thinking going away for a bit while you watch Vosh. Don't go away, Danny. It's funny. It's a funny video because of how stupid his arguments are. All right, it's funny because of how stupid his arguments are. Because he literally just says, "Oh, this is the thing I like and support." That means that it's woke and they won't like it. It's kind of bizarre how one note this guy is. Like, holy shit. Yeah, we're gonna watch some Vosh. He's got, like, will be canceled by the right if it made. Here's the first thing. First of all, if you want to say like canceled by the right, like, has the right, like, no matter what side of the political spectrum you are, left, right, center, fucking filthy communist, I think we all agree, like, the right doesn't cancel shit, or at the very least, like, they want you to, like when the right does want something canceled. Let's be honest, it's usually something like fucking cuties or something. Let's be fucking real. Like, they don't call for cancellation and, like, it's like actual fucking illegal shit like cuties. But yeah, has the right ever successfully canceled anything? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Has the right successfully canceled anything? I'm curious. Because when the right wants to cancel something, it's always, if people just point out, "Oh, that's retarded. Oh, Matt Walsh thinks, like, fucking anime is demonic." Like, who the fuck cares what Matt Walsh thinks? And we just kind of laugh at him, ignore him. But, like, anytime, I'm sorry to be political on this channel, but, like, a leftist brings that shit up, it's, like, taken somewhat seriously by an uncomfortable amount of people. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But, yeah, let's get into it. Let's vote, call Avatar right with cancel the show. Oh my god, YouTube, I don't care!
Isn't new.
I don't need anything, I'm broke!
Always made home and body care products.
How hard would this have gotten canceled if it came out today? But nobody cancels it. You know why? Because back when that show came out, we didn't have this horrible, hyper-toxic anti-SJW online culture. It didn't exist. If cartoons came out with progressive stuff, there wasn't like a swarthing horde of angry white guys online to seethe over it, so people just accepted that it was good.
No. No, I really hate this argument because it's always like, yeah, well, like, you'd hate this if it was made today, but it wasn't. Okay, fine, but, like, back then, like, what changed? If you're true to your word, like, oh, you'd hate this if it was made today, okay, why don't I hate it now? Like, wouldn't I acknowledge that it's bad even though it's progressive as you claim it is? Just such a stupid argument. It's so stupid. Okay, that intro was kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for like as much as like a dingbat like Vosh is, like that intro was pretty boss.
I had like an unbelievably good idea, and it was like, wouldn't it be funny if I could pretend to be like an anti-SJW and I could cancel Avatar: The Last Airbender, because like, what's one of the most unimpeachable pieces of animated media in the past 20 years? It's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Everyone loves Avatar: The Last Airbender, but if Avatar came out today,
yeah, but it didn't. It came out about like 20 years, around 20 years ago. So like, yeah, people. So you're telling me these people who grew up with it are people who grew up with it and liked it just fine, who watched it when they were kids and teenagers, don't like a lot of stuff now, and they liked it back then and they don't like it now. Wouldn't that be more like paying attention to the media that they're consuming now? Like, wouldn't you like? It's like, say like, oh, this guy was eating like normal food like 10 years ago, like chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese and shit 10 years ago. But now, like as an adult now, he's eating like fucking hot Cheetos and like ramen packaged noodles every other night, and he's like always sick and sluggish and shit. Like, yeah, it's the media you consume. Like, it really is the media you consume. Like, it doesn't matter what age you are or what time period you consume it. But like the time period something's brought up is irrelevant outside of like arguing like, oh yeah, it's ahead of its time or something. Sure. So like, yeah, I don't get this argument. It's stupid. Sorry, it's just so stupid. Hang on.
I think it would be written off as like woke SJW media.
Woke.
With like,
yeah,
conservative YouTubers taking shots of it and saying how the cucked woke Nickelodeon feminazis made it,
Yeah, like he's really bad at this. Like, yeah, you can make fun of like people who make like 20 videos on Brie Larson or whatever, sure, but like I don't think they try to like cancel it. That's just silly. I don't think they'd cancel Avatar. I don't think when like people on the quote unquote the right like go after something, they don't just straight up like want it canceled. The left does that all the time. Like the people with pronouns in their bio do it all the time, but like when it comes to like I guess you could say like your fucking what's fucking name, quarterings or whatever. Pretty sure they just say how much it sucks. Yeah, OC Punch the Dragon. Puns the cops. The Fire Nation was right wing as fuck. Yeah, they probably were. Korra is woke. And post Korra like comics were kind of woke. But yeah, like I don't think Korra itself was too bad, but like the post show comics were definitely wink nudging, if you get my drift.
Because I remember, okay, first of all, if you haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's a really, really, really good show. So, like, you should. It's one of the very few things that I would say nails the all ages demographic. Like when you play a Mario game, and The Last Airbender, legit, I think you get just as much watching it as an adult as a kid. The first scene of two of the characters, Sokka and Katara, is Sokka getting called out for being a misogynist. Do you remember that? I can't show any of this because it's all copyright or whatever. But the first scene...
Yeah, this video is probably going to get taken down, guys. My account's definitely probably going to take this video down. We know the show was made by cucks now, but it wasn't apparent in the show. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it, Noob. Thank you very much. Thank you. I love you. I mean, yeah, like the first thing Katara does is point out that Sokka's a sexist, sure. But they literally explain in the show that they explain why Sokka's kind of a sexist, and it doesn't come from a place of like being an asshole. They make it very clear that it's a nuanced take on the character, because they reveal later on that he comes from a tribe of people where the men go out and fight and protect their homes and their women and their children. And the women do all like the cooking and the cleaning and stuff, and like all the other. It's a typical like it's like a tribal thing. It's a traditional tribe. So yeah, the show explicitly goes out of its way to explain why Sokka's like that, and literally in like the Kyoshi Warriors were the third episode, I think, and literally like the third episode, Sokka like understands why. He quickly like becomes more humbled and realizes that yeah, women can fight and defend. It was silly of me to think that they didn't, because I literally have never known anything else. That's what the show did. Yeah, Sokka was a sexist, but they really did do a good job of explaining why and how he's sexist, and they make it clear it doesn't come from a place of being an asshole. It's just legitimately the culture he grew up in. In the grand scheme of things, like saying, "Oh, girls can't fight because I don't want to see girls get hurt." That's essentially Sokka's mindset that they explain it as.
Scene was like Sokka talking down to Katara, even though she was clearly more mature than him, even though he was older, and deriding her for being a girl who likes stupid girl stuff. And Katara chided him, and she ended up being the sort of intelligent one in that engagement because Sokka's kind of a dumbass, you know?
Okay, this is something else that I think a lot of people who watch Avatar have rose-tinted glasses on. Katara is not more mature than Sokka. Don't get me wrong, Sokka can be silly and quirky, but you need to understand that he is the guy with the ideas. This is back during season 1 too, by the way. It's not like, oh, this is like it took 3 seasons for us to get there. By season 1, he's coming up with plans. He's like guiding them down a roadmap and shit like that. Yeah, Katara is more, I guess you could say she's more, how do I put this? Katara follows her heart, while Sokka follows his head. Sokka is more pragmatic and somewhat reasonable than Katara is. Because if you rewatch the show, Katara is very impulsive, she's very overpassionate, she doesn't think things through, she puts doing the right thing over being smart, stuff like that. That's something they established pretty early on. Yeah, they kind of do play up like she's the actual mature one and Sokka's kind of silly. But, like, no, they do explain that Sokka isn't a dumbass. They explain it pretty early on that Sokka's actually very intelligent. He's a little ignorant on some things, but he's not an idiot. And Katara isn't that mature either. She's, Sokka, people like Vosh, anyone who disagrees with me is right wing. So he's just arguing about a boogeyman. Plus, we know why Vosh is so interested in the kid show. Okay, Sauron, I will say this. Let me explain this. I'll say there's a 50-50 chance Vosh has what you're referring to on his computer. A 50-50 chance, because he does bring it up a lot. But, like, he's nowhere near as bad as, like, Mr. Girl, who I'm, like, 100% sure he has some very interesting stuff on his computer. Sokka was based and then he became less based, but I still love him, yeah. Sokka's the smart one. Yeah, like, Sokka's the smart one. He comes up with the plans. Sokka is the one who comes with the plans and, like, schedules everything, and, like, it becomes... And again, he shows signs of being the leader, even early on in Season 1. So it's not like he became less of an idiot as time went on. He just became less ignorant. He was willing to learn. He was, like, that's Sokka's entire character arc. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Sokka's literally, like, yeah, a toxic masculine archetype who's so obsessed with being, like, a alpha male that he ends up making a fool of himself.
Oh my god, he's so fucking stupid. No, it's not a whole, macho alpha male thing. He literally wants to prove his worth to not only his tribe, but his father, too. He wants to prove he can be a capable warrior. That's his whole fucking... that's, like, explained, like, that's clearly what they're doing! Oh, how dare he think it's his responsibility to protect the women and children of his tribe. How dare he? What a fucking sexist. Fucking moron. Jesus Christ. Like, they explained that in, like, the first 2 episodes. Like, they explained that in the first 2 episodes. First few episodes that Sokka's not doing this because strategy. Yeah, that's also Katara is very immature. Yeah, that's what I already said. Like Katara is definitely more compassionate. She has more like I already said, Sokka follows his head because Katara follows her heart. I guarantee you that without Sokka, like Katara and Aang by themselves, Katara would have been captured. Katara would have gotten them captured because she always has to like butt in and do what she thinks is right. And you gotta admit, Sokka does come up with plans to get them out of situations. Like that's always been the dynamic ever since season 1. Yeah, in some cases it's like, yeah, sometimes Sokka's a little immature, but for the most part, Katara is more immature than Sokka has been over time. Sokka's just quirky and silly, but he's usually the more mature one out of the three. Well, his dad is the chief. Sokka's frustration comes from the fact that he was the oldest boy who wasn't old enough to go to war. Katara is someone who had to grow up fast. I know girls like that in real life. Yeah, like she did have to grow up fast. I'll agree to that. I'm not saying Katara isn't mature. I'm saying like consistently throughout the show, Sokka is shown more mature than she is. The only difference is like when Katara follows her heart, it's treated like, oh, this whimsical, plucky thing that she's doing as just a girl seeking adventure or whatever. Sokka is silly and quirky even when he's like brilliant. So like, yeah, that's kind of how it is. Like again, this isn't really Vash's fault. This is like a rose-tinted glasses thing with the show. Like people always think that, oh, Katara was the younger sibling, but she was more mature. When it's no, Sokka's more consistently mature than Katara is. Again, Katara's compassionate and shit, but like Sokka is objectively more mature than her.
And later, like I think episode like 5, he ends up getting shown up by a group of female warriors who have him cross-dress and teach him how to fight. Can you imagine a modern piece of media where the gung-ho male character is beaten by a group of warrior women who explicitly call attention to the fact that they're women, and then to train him, he has to wear their gear?
Like, yeah, but here's the thing: he's not really gung ho. Like, he's not really this he's not really this super macho gung ho kind of guy. Like, yeah, he's a little bit sexist because it's the environment he grew up in. Men are warriors, hunters, and soldiers who defend their women who do all like the cooking and the cleaning and taking care of the kids. So, like, yeah, like it's not even really like a gung ho thing. He's just briefly surprised. And then again, they're like teenagers, so of course they're gonna like make fun of Sokka and point out like, "Oh my God, you're a boy and you can't beat us!" Ha ha ha! Like, yeah, they're fucking teenagers. It's called a joke, Bosh. It's called a joke.
And
not supposed to be taken seriously.
It's like, hey, you look good in that dress.
Because it's a joke. My brother in Christ, it's a joke. Holy shit. You can literally see Vosh making up trauma and arguing against it. Katara, I want to speak. That was Katara. She would do that. She would say, I want to speak to the manager, yes. The difference between more obnoxious modern stuff and Kyoshi Warriors episode is that the episode treated the topic with tact. Yeah! Because they were willing to train Sokka even though he was a boy. And kind of like, because like, again, the whole episode is showing like one of Sokka's greatest strengths is that he can show humility. He can show humility. Like, that's one of his biggest strengths. Unlike Katara, who, remember, when Katara had to learn something new, ignoring, like, Padma, she was, like, kind of a cunt toward like, Pakku, and, like, when Aang got better at waterbending than her, she was kind of a cunt. So, yeah, like, Sokka's, like, willing to learn whatever he can. He's willing to bow down and admit he's not perfect. Again, showing that he is more mature than Katara. And the cartoon today probably was I'm a warrior, but I'm also a girl, but with Suki, complete with Suki kissing Sokka. Yeah. Also, Sokka. Also, I doubt Vash will bring up that Sokka was the Riz bender. Sokka was the straight up Riz bender. Holy shit. All right, let's see here.
Like, that would be conservative YouTuber content, wouldn't it? The progressive messaging is everywhere. Katara arguing with Sokka, being a misogynist.
She didn't call him a misogynist, she called him sexist, by the way. But I guess same diff. Why
The
not?
Kyoshi Warriors. When Katara goes up to the North Pole.
Okay, controversial opinion. Controversial opinion coming in hot. That episode where like Katara's trying to like prove herself to Paku is one of the worst episodes of the show. And this is for a show that has like 98% good episodes. It's one of the worst episodes in the show. I'm sorry. When she's like saying, I can totally be a bender. Yeah, we know Katara's come a long way. We know how skilled Katara is. We know we don't need a whole episode with Mr. Misogyny Man. Yeah, he did have a hair. I mean, Toph, Saki, the Moon Spirit Girl, fucking May called him cute. Yeah, like, and he had a whole classroom of girls, haiku girls, shit like that, bro. Guy had the riz. He had that sauce. He had got like fucking Sokka had that sauce on him. I'm telling you, but yeah, but like that's one of the like the whole Paku versus Katara thing is one of like the worst episodes of the show. Because like the whole thing is like, yeah, I'm a girl and I can waterbend with the best. Yeah, we know. We've seen you waterbend great. We don't need a whole episode dedicated to it. If Zuko was also a girl, he'd also be part of Sokka's harem. Well, the thing is, like, what was I trying to say? I lost my train of thought. My train of thought is lost. Got off at the wrong station. The thing is, like, that whole episode's like, yeah, Paku doesn't like training women and stuff because he thinks that they're inferior, I guess. But also the show points out that yeah, the Water Nation men are actually at war with the Fire Nation. They're for some reason they're also isolationists, so they don't get involved directly with the war effort. But like the whole thing is like, yeah, the women learn water healing in order to heal their soldiers, so the men can go out and fight some more. So it's like World War II, where like, yeah, there weren't a lot of women on the front lines, but there were women like building machines and like doing other stuff like fucking being nurses and taking care of men and stuff like that. So like, it's kind of like that, where like, yeah, they weren't on the front lines, but they were still helping. They were still pivotal to like fucking society or whatever, to the fucking war effort. It's kind of silly to say that. Yeah, it's kind of silly to say that the girls shouldn't be allowed to like learn waterbending like at combat, but like they still had an important role that the show highlighted. And ironically, despite everything Katara learned in like the Northern Water Tribe, completely ironically, the most important thing she learned from the Northern Water Tribe was like water healing. That's come in clutch so many times throughout the series. So the most important thing she learned in the Water Tribe, was the thing she didn't want to learn in the first place. It's lovely. I don't know if the show did that on purpose, but that's kind of fucking hilarious. Need a Sokka hair. The most unbelievable part of Legend of Korra is that Sokka fathered no children. That is blasphemy. That is bullshit. Yeah, exactly. But no, they made Paku or whatever a fucking incel. I don't train women because a woman gypped me when I was younger and ran away from our wedding. I'm like, that's kind of stupid. that's really fucking stupid. Wow, okay. That's really fucking stupid. Yeah, it's one of the worst episodes of the show. People say like, oh, it's a great episode for Katara. No, it's not. She didn't need that episode. Like, you could skip over it and nothing would change. The only problem I have with the only thing that really upsets me is that Paco, despite revealing that he was part of the White Lotus and everything, he doesn't really do anything besides be Mr. Misogyny Man. What a fucking waste of a character. Holy shit. All right.
They have a patriarchal society that doesn't allow her to learn waterbending unless she wants to be a healer, but she's a badass warrior. So she ends up fighting against the system and ends up like challenging what was the guy's name? Mystic guy? Fogyu, yeah. Would have gotten canceled if it came out today. But
no, it wouldn't, because like the right doesn't cancel anything, you Nimrod. Like, I'm sorry, unless it's like explicitly sexual content like involving kids. Which people like you, I'm not making any accusations here, allegedly are perfectly okay with. You're perfectly okay with Cuties. Yeah, it's great. It's a great movie. Is he one of the people who defended Cuties? Someone look that up. Did Vosh defend Cuties? I know Mr. Girl did, but I don't know if Vosh defended Cuties. He looks like he defended Cuties. I'm going to assume that. I'm going to assume that he did. Allegedly, of course, but yeah. Like, yeah, outside of, like, explicit content towards like, sexual content towards kids, conservatives really don't give a shit. Like, they really don't give a shit. They think anything that's, like, not football and news and other dad bullshit, is beneath them. They don't care about pop culture stuff. Until, like, there is, like, some legitimate stuff like, oh, non-binary Green Lantern or some shit. Then they'll pop their heads out and say, this is stupid, and then go back to their pit. But, like, yeah, they don't try to cancel shit, like, unless it's, like, actual, like, sexual stuff and harmful to children. Like, you're being being disingenuous, my guy.
Nobody cancels it. You know why? Because back when that show came out,
yeah, we already saw this part.
People just accepted that it would. All they care about is if it's woke, if it's progressive or compromising. It's the progressive. If it's cucked or whatever, they don't make comments on the quality of the media. They get angry over whether or not it's too progressive. Yeah.
I mean, like, you're probably never gonna hear me say this ever again. So, like, somebody clip this. Yeah, ask Dan Guy 96, but they can't. I remember watching Korra for the first time, and they didn't drop sockets, and they just dropped sockets deaf in me, and like, was nothing. You can't do that, man. The right to just boycott things. Yeah, but even then, it's not even taken seriously. No one takes right wing boycott seriously. There are still dumbass right wing boomer crap who complain about shit, but far left dumbasses make cancellations trend more. Yeah, I do agree. Like I was about to say, you're probably never gonna hear me say this again, so clip this or whatever. If edgy, if you're still there, clip this. At the end of the day, he's kind of right, because when right wings see something like when the gay Superman thing came out, right wingers like fucking, and I actually kind of like Steven Crowder. He makes some good points, but like he came out and said like, oh yeah, that's stupid that they have a gay Superman or whatever, blah 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 blah. But he also says I don't like. He makes it very clear he doesn't like comic books. He thinks they're silly and stupid. So I'm like, why are you fucking complaining about it if you don't actually fucking care? Ah, damn it, I'm gonna regret that. Yeah, I kind of agree with Vosh here. Like, yeah, there are right-wing grifters. There are people who pretend to care for the sake of getting attention. I'm not gonna pretend they don't exist, but like, if you're saying like, oh, right-wingers cancel that shit, I'm sorry, like, no, they don't cancel. They don't, and like, even when they boycott something that's never taken seriously, the only thing I could think of is like the Bud Light commercial. And even then, that was more apathy than anything else. People were just like didn't care because no one fucking drinks Bud Light. That was just the last straw for like 40-year-old men from Alabama who used to be football players. That's all it is. That's the only people who drunk that shit, and that was their only clientele left. No one in their right mind drinks Bud Light. God damn it. Damn it, noob. Guys, give me 2 minutes. I gotta do something. Be right back. All right, I'm back. I had to go check on my sisters, see where they were at. Bud tried to sell blank. Okay, I'm not sure I can say that on YouTube, so I'm not gonna say it. Tried to sell that kind of porn to. Back when Avatar came out, people were insane. Yeah, Bud Light already wasn't good. That was yeah. And over there it says gay taste is too good for Bud Light. Yeah. Bud tried to sell blank porn to rednecks. What the fuck did they think would happen? Yeah. I never heard of a statement. Whatever a right-wing influencer grifter does try to cancel something in quotes, it usually backfires. People end up making fun. Yeah, we already talked about like fucking Matt Walsh saying anime is demonic and shit. Like, yeah, no one fucking cares, dude. I want to watch fucking Spy X Family, dude. Like, let me watch Spy X Family. There's nothing demonic about that. It was a far left to call. Yeah. I feel like anything that isn't Zelda that has the Legend of seems to not do well. Yeah. Just look at that movie Legend of Chun-Li with Taboo as Vega. All right, let's get back to the garbage.
The only point that I'm getting at, because ATLA did it well. No. So it is true that ATLA is almost a transcendentally good piece of media, but it's because the culture of anti-woke criticism didn't exist back then. That's why. Trust me. If a piece of media as good as Avatar: The Last Airbender came out today and was equal in its progressive messaging, it would be getting a ton of blowback from the right. 100.
Like, okay, like, not really. Not really. Like, I'm pretty sure there's not, like, fucking... Because, again, like, the only thing people are upset about is when they like to do, like, oh, like, if, like, Toph came out as non-binary or some shit, then, yeah, that'd be kind of silly. I could see, like, right-wingers getting mad at that, but, like, no, not really. There's nothing really... Like, when I talk about modern progressive stuff in media, it's usually stuff that's unreasonable and stupid. That's usually what it is. Or at the very least doesn't make any sense. Like how every other show nowadays, there's a character who's explicitly attracted to guys, and then out of nowhere, they're attracted to women. Yeah, they're just lesbian, because that's how that works. That's totally how that works.
100%. Absolutely it would. The whole show is just rife with stuff. I recently rewatched it about a year ago, and I kept watching these scenes and thinking, how was there never any outrage about this?
Yeah, you see, this is the problem with media nowadays. You don't just watch it and enjoy it for what it is. It's always the same thing. I gotta watch it and make sure that it's progressive enough, guys. I gotta make sure that no one that I find something that triggers the grifters, guys. I can't just enjoy media. You know, like that's the whole that is the problem with I hate to use this term, but media literacy in general now. Like everyone looks at something a little too hard to find something that they agree with. It perpetuates it. That is literally the problem with a lot of people watching media nowadays. Jesus Christ.
And then I remembered, oh yeah, YouTube didn't exist back then. Twitter didn't exist back then. So there was no outrage because nobody was making money telling other people to be angry about it.
Again, like no one makes money from like that. Okay, sure, okay.
No? Yeah, it's like yeah.
Yeah, I make millions of dollars getting me. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. 1 second, chat. Sorry. Hold on. 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, speaking of it, I think that the U.S. right conservative blank, whatever, basically banning the entertainment industry to make shit like Bible Man because it's more moral, partly got sent to crap media. I don't think that's the case. I think that, again, people who make on media on a large scale, legitimately are all in the same boat. They all have the same politics, the same beliefs, the same ideas. They claim they're like super diverse or whatever, but in reality, they all have the same mindset. Like that really is all it is. Put a chick in there and make her lame and gay. Yes, thank you, Dragon. Very cool. Grifters now have to read something to own the woke chuds, and the entertainment industry feeds the cycle. I don't agree. You want to know why? Because recently you've been seeing it recently. People are not afraid of calling out bullshit media anymore. They're not afraid anymore. They clearly wanted to say this for a while, but when again, I hate to be, this is gonna sound really, really, I guess you could say this is kind of cringe. Maybe we put this here, but like, South Park was like the first mainstream outlet that pretty much got people vocal about it and said, yeah, this stuff sucks. It sucks. I don't like your moral value. Yeah, they still try to pull the whole it's a cycle thing, but I still call bullshit. I still think they're trying to make it sound like it's nuanced, guys. It's nuanced. Like, no, it's not. These people are gonna keep doing what they think they're doing, whether people like it on YouTube or not. I guarantee you, like it's kind of like they were going to do everything they were going to do regardless. The only reason they're just now kind of admitting it because they're in such a bad place that they have to say, yeah, this sucks. We're going to try to redo it. We're going to actually focus on quality now. We tried to push our ideals into the show or movie or whatever. Like when fucking Ant-Man Quantumania tried to push fucking socialism. I'm not joking. Look that up. They were pushing socialism in fucking Ant-Man Quantumania. I'm not making this up. Yes, I'm one of the 7 people who watched Quantumania. Yes, I am. But 1 second, guys. Sorry. So, like, yeah, it's just they're just finally admitting, like, yeah, our stuff sucks. It's not good. Content's not good. We got to actually focus on quality now. But it's too little, too late. It's okay with calling a content, but I wish more light was given to people who actually made good stories, and not simply saying woke on repeat. Yeah, that's a very valid criticism, Dan guy. I completely agree. Kang is a bad joke. Yeah. Dude, you're the next phase of the fucking MCU's villain, and you got beat by ants, my nigga. Come on. Jesus Christ. Alright, let's get on with this.
Yeah, phenomenal. But they did. I don't know when they were created. The culture didn't exist. Ban all of you. Shows today getting canceled for doing stuff that ATLA was getting away with like 20 years ago, you know?
Like what? Like, I can't think of, like, Avatar didn't do, like, first of all, like, these shows don't get canceled. I don't know what the I don't know. He can't, I guarantee you he doesn't give you any example. Like, oh, this show was explicitly canceled because it was right-wing. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. There's no show. There's no modern TV show that's canceled because, like, right-wingers, like, got in an uproar. You're fucking lying. You're lying through your fucking teeth. Holy shit. Like, I know people, like, point out, like, Vosh does a lot of, like, straw manning, but holy fucking shit.
No. The only thing I can think of, did ATLA have anything like gay?
Because of course that's all you guys think about. That's all you guys think about. How gay can it be, guys? How gay can we get? How gay can we get in chat right now? How gay? I want to see you guys. I want to see how gay you guys can get in chat right now. CW did go woke and lost $1 million. Yeah. I wouldn't mind if they replaced Kang with Doctor Doom. I have his introduction be a killing a guy trying to make a quip. You know, Dan Guy, I agree, because Doom's like one of my favorite villains in Marvel. Also, I actually wrote like a fan script years ago. Like 3 years ago for like Fantastic Four. That's kind of what I did. Like someone makes a very quip and like Doom's like, I'm not abused, and like kills the guy. So yeah. Could be cool. I don't care about the MCU. I don't care about the Fantastic Four or the X-Men now. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Does anyone remember that fucking Pierre song from like fucking kindergarten?
I don't remember. I've seen Korra. I know they like hold hands. Do they kiss? Imperialist stuff and multiracial stuff. Also, one of the most significant like plot beats, or I guess one of the big themes behind Avatar: The Last Airbender was
this is gonna be good. I can tell. I'm getting excited. I want to know what it's gonna say.
A repudiation of the whole might makes right philosophy. That's pretty critical to conservative or at least reactionary thought. The idea that there's some inherent existential value to power, but the show didn't.
I mean, there is. Power literally controls everything. If you don't have power, you don't like power over people. Yeah, power is important. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, power is very important, dude. Yeah, like, congratulations. I'm glad you figured that out. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, genuinely, like, oh my god.
Pretty critical to conservative or at least reactionary was a repudiation of the whole might makes right philosophy. That's pretty critical to conservative or at least reactionary thought. The idea that there's some inherent existential value to power, but the show didn't care about that at all. The main character, Aang, was the biggest pacifist.
Yeah, but like the whole thing about Aang is literally his arc in the show is literally by the end of it is not being afraid of his own power and using it to enforce his like duty as the Avatar. It does come down to power at the end of the day. He faces his problems head on. He realizes that he can't pacify Ozai. He's got to fucking duke it up and fight him. He can't run anymore. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, oh, power is like essential to like right wing. Yeah, because power is fucking important. It's not even like a right wing thing. It's literally any political ideology. Yeah, power is a factor. Whether you share it or a certain group of people have it. Yeah, that's something I learned in my civics class, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? I know it's kind of a stereotype, but I go back and forth on Azula, maybe having a crush on Ty Lee, but maybe that's me being a filthy shipper. I mean, Ty Lee definitely had a crush on Azula. I don't know if Azula recuperated, but like, I feel bad for Kamala's actress. Yeah, she like that's the one part. That's the one part I will say, like Kamala's actress for the Marvels or whatever, or Miss Marvel, she's genuinely good for a child actor, and she seems like she's having fun, and she seems like a nice girl. I hope she does more stuff in the future. She seems like she deserves it. All right, I will say that much. I haven't watched like Miss Marvel, but from the clips I've seen of her, she's not bad for a child actor. So I hope she gets more work in the future. Hopefully in something good. Yeah, but he's like saying, oh yeah, plus Dan guy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Ty Lee had an implied crush on Azula. Not sure if Azula felt the same way back or saw her as like a possession, because she did see her friend as a possession. I'm not sure, but I can believe Ty Lee crushing over Azula. Yeah, what are you talking about, dude? Like, oh yeah, because people care about power. Because power is important to, like, the right. It's important to any political ideology, you Nimrod.
He mourned the loss of his people, who were themselves pretty pacifist by the standards of the world they lived in. There really wasn't much military glorification in the show.
Like, they literally pointed out that the reason Aang's people died is because they held pacifist ideas. Remember, he said that they didn't have a form of military. Sozin took them out by ambush. Like, they make it, like, one of the core aspects, I would argue, like, one of the core aspects of the show is, like, standing up and fighting a threat head on. Like, it's a very classic classic hero story. Face your fears and your problems head on. Yeah, there's no, like, you say, oh, there's no glorification of the military. Yes, there is. Like, the Southern Water Tribe are built up as, like, heroes that, like, fucking Sokka idolizes. And, like, I don't know, man. You just kind of sound stupid. You sound really stupid.
Because every time you saw a military in The Last Airbender, it was the Fire Nations, and it ruined the world.
No, it wasn't. We saw Earthbenders, and yeah, and like to be fair, the show did go out of its way to show that Earthbenders could be just as bad as Firebenders, and it was very nuanced. But at the same time, like, yeah, there was still like Earthbending soldiers. There was waterbending soldiers. There was an entire arc where they fought a fucking war, like a head-on fucking battalion war. What the fuck are you talking about? Holy shit! You're right, Dragon. You're right, Dragon. Azula is a sociopath, is a psychopath. Like, also a fun fact: they're trying to make a comic about Azula, trying to redeem her, because what we need now more than ever is showing a psychotic female villain getting redeemed again for like the millionth time. That's great. Women can't just be evil. There's always got to be something wrong with them. I wouldn't say it's military glorification, but I'd say that the show isn't completely anti-military. More like war is bad. Okay, yeah, that's a good way to put it. War is bad. Okay, war is bad. It kills people. Okay, but yeah, like there's really no anti-military thing. I mean, I guess you could say, oh, the Fire Nation are just stormtroopers essentially. That's essentially what the Fire Nation is. At the end of the day, they're just trying to do their job, man. And again, they're just following orders. It's fucked up, and they make it clear, like, yeah, there's some problems with that. But at the end of the day, they're just kind of just following orders, bro. But on the other side of the spectrum, like, yeah, there are soldiers in the show that aren't just Fire Nation. And I would argue that the show does glorify Water Nation soldiers and Earth Nation soldiers who help in the war effort. This is stupid. I am at a loss for words. This is really stupid. Holy shit.
Tortured and pillaged and destroyed everything. The military was never really shown in a positive light at any point, you know? In fact, when you got to Ba Sing Se in the Earth Kingdom, you meet the first, like, paramilitary force you see in the show, and it's the Dai Li. And they're feds. And they're horrible. The message being, the secret police are a fundamentally reactionary force. I mean,
again, I hate to say this twice in a stream, but I agree. The feds aren't your friends, guys. If you ever get in with the Fed or anything, just like fucking call a lawyer. Don't say a goddamn thing. The feds are not your friends. Again, I can't believe I said I agree with Vosh twice in one stream. I hope somebody clips these. I really do. I hope somebody clips these. I have the slimmest hope that the Azula comic doesn't fully redeem her, because so far the comics have had her refusing to admit. Yeah. I don't know, man.
It was so, yeah. Literally, like, these secret, like...
And even then, the Dai Li was infiltrated by the Fire Nation. So it wasn't even... So, okay.
SS shadow agents may as well belong to the enemy because they have no allegiance to the country they're stomping on, you know? I also like they showed that the Fire Nation civilians are also victims of their imperialism. God, the show was so good. How do you fit all this into a kid's show, man? They even had a...
Because they actually wrote interesting characters, an interesting world, and focused on the story rather than shoving ideals down your throat, dude. Okay. Here's some advice, some writing advice from Slim Didaledrome. Yep, you have nothing to gain from cops. Always say lawyer, no matter how bad or good. Yeah, exactly. Well, broken clocks rise twice a day. He even clocked as greasy as Bosch. Yes, dead guy. Very cool. And I will always say this so people can understand this. Whenever you're writing a story, remember this. A good story will always have good themes, but good themes don't make a good story. Don't ever go into your story like, what do I want? Make the first draft first and then think, what do I want the themes to be? What do I want this thing to be? Make the draft first. Make the story part first, then worry about the themes after. Because, dear God, you can have a good story and good themes will naturally flow with it. That's literally since the dawn of time, since the dawn of stories. That's how that's worked. Make good stories first. Worry about all that other. Worry about the thematic elements later. Just don't do that. Just do that. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it.
That episode's dedicated to exactly that. When they were in the Fire Nation, yeah, Fire Nation kids are stifled and oppressed, but on the whole, they're exactly the same as kids anywhere else. Fire Nation villages are being destroyed by the pollution and industrialization that the nation is engaging in just so they can build more war class with an explicit...
Oh my God, YouTube, I don't care! YouTube! I don't care! Okay.
Explicit criticism, not just of the monarchy, but of essentially the bourgeois, you know? Christ, it was such a good show, man. Captain Planet, it's the destruction of the environment, you know? These were explicit. The thing is basically Captain Planet. I think at least like 6 episodes were explicitly about him fighting back against the destruction of the environment, you know? He does that a lot. His first encounter with the...
Yeah, okay, but that's not inherently right wing or left wing. That's like, yeah, you gotta live in tune with nature. Because the show doesn't say, oh, like nature good, like fucking inventions and fucking things bad, like for progress bad. It doesn't say that either. It says the problem is that they don't live in tune with nature. That's the whole problem. It's not even really like a right-wing, left-wing thing. It's an ideological thing. Like, yeah, it's fine to progress as people, but you gotta learn to live in harmony with nature. That's not a left-wing or right-wing thing, dude. And only guaranteed good stories ever written are ones who, where the author wrote the beginning from the end from the start. All the stuff in the middle comes last. Yeah, that's reasonable, but it's reasonable. Also, unless you're really good at political satire, don't try to fill your story with parallels to modern day politics, especially if you're trying to make escapism. Yeah, like the problem with modern day politics is that they're so extreme. They're so extreme. They're so extreme that, honest to God, any satire you make would, honest to God, pale in comparison. I'm not going to name what these political beliefs are, but let's just say certain people shouldn't be able to participate in certain sports. And again, we joked about that. Futurama made jokes about that years ago. Literally decades ago. About 2 decades ago, they made jokes about that. Why certain people who make a certain decision to win at certain sports shouldn't be able to participate in those certain sports. Because it's unfair to the people who actually participated in it. You know, the normal way without having a certain procedure done. Anyway, back to Bosch.
The spirit world was him trying to... there was a deforested... forest. Field, you know? The only nation shown to be almost exclusively good were the air nomads, and they got. Not even that, though, because maybe this is just my interpretation. It felt like the air nomads were pretty stifling and conservative themselves. You didn't see much of them, but seeing like their like elders talk about the Avatar and society in general, they seemed really stiff and unflexible and immobile and unwilling to, you know, that kind of thing.
Well, first of all, that's not true, because the whole point of the air nomads is that they travel from place to place, learning and growing more like knowledge and wisdom. Like that's why Aang arguably has an easier time, like learns the elements so quickly, because he's so worldly at such a young age. Like, so yeah, like that's not even the case. The reason they're like that is because, oh no, fire Nazis are coming, and pretty much our world's equivalent of Superman, the guy who can stop all this. We're not sure if we should like reveal that he's the god of this world. I don't know. That's why they're like that, Bosch. Did you watch the show? Did you watch the show? Like, there's nothing stating that. If anything, like the whole point of the air nomads was they were so in tune with nature at birth, and their principal ideas are freedom and change and flowing with the wind. That they were so in tune with that unlike other nations that like occasionally had where being a bender was like a 60-40 chance of you becoming one. All air nomads were indeed all air nomads were born airbenders because they were so in tune with nature. And again, the whole principle of this is like freedom, being worldly, understanding. That's literally the whole point of the air nomads. They were the most spiritual of all the four nations. What the fuck are you talking about? The only reason they were like that is because they were desperate and pragmatic. What the fuck are you talking about?
Kind of thing. And that's just my interpretation. Well, maybe. That's just a feeling that I got. Yeah, they seemed like in the text they were pretty, Aang rebelled against them. That's why he fled. That's why he got frozen for 100 years. Earth General Fong tried to weaponize the Avatar state. That's true. Even when the Earth Kingdom showed its military off, the Earth Kingdom's military was usually at best misguided. There were only a couple of times the military was shown positively, and it was usually like in a very explicit self-defense kind of sense. The Northern Water Tribe's military was just like, please don't destroy our people. No, they were isolationist. They didn't want to get directly involved in the war because it would be a great risk to them in the grand scheme of things. Basically, the entire war in Avatar: The Last Airbender is fought between mostly the Earth Kingdom and the Fire Nation. Like that's like 80% of the conflict in the show. Yeah, the Southern Water Tribe like fights them directly, but like again, the Northern Water Tribe are isolationist, and they don't want to get like directly involved in the war because of that. It wasn't like, hey, don't attack us. It's like, hey, you can come attack us, but again, you're like surrounded by like our premier weapon. So like, come at us, bitch, if you dare. Like, there's a reason that the Fire Nation hadn't directly attacked them yet. The Earth Kingdom did have a military, but
skip over this.
Zuko alone, where Zuko, who is at this point in the show basically an antagonist still, he goes off on his own because he's been exiled from the Fire Nation and he's starving and doesn't have any food and he's sad. And he walks through the Earth Kingdom and he encounters Earth Kingdom soldiers, food and doing whatever and overlooking crimes they commit, And Zuko stands up against them. And it's so clear. The Fire Nation isn't the threat. Power is the threat. It's almost an anarchist subtext, seriously. It's not just one nation bad, one people bad, because that's not true. They explicitly reject them.
It's like an anarchist. No, guy. It's literally a guy. It's literally showing that Zuko has a moral compass. He's a decent person. Like, Zuko alone was like, hey, yeah, Zuko by himself. Like, basically the whole point of Zuko alone is, yeah, Zuko is a good person. He's capable of doing good. There's no ambiguity anymore. At the end of the day, Zuko's not a bad person. There's no anarchist subtext or whatever the fuck you're talking about. It's like, hey, yeah, Zuko by himself, completely alone, good person. Yeah, Dragon, you are technically correct. Earth Kingdoms. Yeah. There are numerous kings throughout the Earth Kingdom. Yeah, you're right, correct. It is kind of weird that it's called the Earth Kingdom and not Earth Kingdoms. It's kind of weird. Like, again, this is the problem with like a lot of modern. Again, I hate to say this because it's such an overused term and kind of stupid, but media literacy is people looking too deep into something to find something that they can like attach to and like project themselves onto and say, yeah, this represents what I believe in. This represents me. I'm like, no, shut up. It's not an anarchist subplot. It's like, hey, this Zuko is a guy who's trying to do the right thing. That's who Zuko is. I think that's even kind of like the reason why it's called Zuko alone. There's no other major character currently in the episode besides Zuko, and it's him by himself coming to conclusions by himself, and it's showing that, yeah, Zuko's a good person. At his core, Zuko's a good person. Despite everything he did, he's a good person. There's no ambiguity. There's no flip-flopping around. At the end of the day, Zuko was very capable of good. And that's the episode where people more or less said, yeah, I want Zuko to be redeemed. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, again, not every it ain't like to put it in simplest terms, it ain't that deep, bro. Jesus Christ.
Those theses. The story is abused power is bad. The ability to control others is bad. You know?
How is that how is this something the right would hate? Remember, this video is about like why would the right cancel this? Like, okay, yeah, people in power who abuse power is wrong. That's not necessarily a left-wing take, my God. What the fuck are you talking about?
That was always and always and always. That was always the message that came out time and time again. Earth Kingdom soldiers, the Dai Li, the Fire Kingdom, anytime a group of people have power and the feeling they have the right to use it to control others, bad things happen. Every time.
Well, again, Aang is canonically the most powerful being in their world, and he uses his power to stop Ozai because he couldn't pacify him or talk him out of it. What in the actual fuck are you talking about? Oh, abusing power is bad, and that's a left-wing talking point. Yeah, I can't imagine any left-wing leaders or like dictators who I can't think of any. Off the top of my head, people who are leftists just don't have a tendency to like take over as dictators. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I'd say it's more of a message that there's good people even in the most corrupt nations, and it's a corrupt government who's at fault, and nothing to do with anarchism. Yeah, that's also a good thing, but again, like my whole point is like that's not inherently left wing or right wing. Saying that don't like yeah, the government being corrupt sucks. That's not left wing or right wing. There are right wing corrupt governments and left wing corrupt governments. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Vosh. What the fuck? He's making an argument that doesn't make any sense. He's trying to say, oh yeah, this is a left-wing thing, and I'm like, is it though? Is it?
Every time. It was good. Also, it was just a good show for a million other reasons, you know? Oh, God.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about those other reasons, because like the owning the chuds is more important, you know?
Toph. Dude, if Toph...
Oh my god, I need alcohol. I don't have any alcohol. I need alcohol for this. I know exactly where he's going, and I need alcohol for this. Right, like left-wing terrorists do exist. B is a left-wing terrorist. No, he's a left-wing idiot. Which, in the grand scheme of things, is just as bad, but... Yeah, like I already know where he's going, and yeah, it's gonna be so stupid because we all know it's coming. I need alcohol. I don't have any. I'm gonna get some Montezuma tomorrow, cause yeah, okay, let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Toph was a character today. The anti-SJWs would have a fit over her.
No, they wouldn't.
Ow, she's like a little girl, but she's strong and more masculine than everyone else. So woke.
No, Toph is just a tomboy. Toph is just a tomboy. That's literally all Toph is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She's a tomboy. Just ignore how bad she is. Yeah. Well, Canada isn't valid. They kind of had it coming. They had it too good for too long. Now it's literally, oh, you're addicted to drugs, kill yourself. Yeah, but Toph is just a tomboy. No one has a problem with tomboys. No one cares. The Toph is like you'd have a problem with it because you think she's like trans or something. Like I'm not okay. Sorry, I'm not gonna assume that. But like people have misinterpreted that. Like yeah, she likes masculine stuff, so she must be like trans or some shit. And I'm like, yeah, no, she's just a tomboy. She's just a tomboy. That's all it is.
I bet they're gonna make her a.
Oh my god! Like. Look, I have these exact same glasses, and that pisses me off.
Trans boy in the next episode. Toph sounds like tough. Wow. Oh, yeah, and she's disabled. Yeah. No, just, you know what they would say if she was a character like today, right?
Here's the thing, though.
It's a brand new
oh, my
exclusive
God.
event with all your favorite South Park
Funny episode, but I don't fucking care. Anyway. Oh, she's disabled. Yeah, but here's the thing. And I think a lot of people need to realize this. Toph doesn't let her disability define her. She doesn't let it define her. She hates when people look down on her for being blind. She hates when people like acknowledge, like, oh yeah, you must be blind. You're so brave. You're so powerful. Like she's like, no, I'm just the best airbender ever. I'd still be the best airbender even if I wasn't blind. It's just who I am, and I deal with it. That's literally all Toph does. And so many people like say, "Oh, you hate her today." No, because she actually earned her abilities. Okay, she trained for years to become her ability to earthbend was literally earned by being taught by badger moles for years in secret. No, the problem a lot of people have with like modern strong female characters is that at the end of the day they don't earn their strength. They don't earn their strength. That's the main problem. Toph earned her strength. And they explained why Toph is so proficient as well. This is exactly what happens. People say, I think One Piece is a big leftist manga because Luffy overthrows corrupt, illegitimate rulers. Luffy probably doesn't know. Luffy does know about politics. He just doesn't care. People need to realize that Luffy is stupid. He's a fucking idiot. Don't get me wrong. But Luffy does understand politics and like fucking plans and strategies. He's just so impulsive and like simple-minded that he doesn't care. He's like, oh yeah, I can't punch this guy because it's Celestial Dragon and that caused a lot of consequences. Oh, I don't fucking care. That's Luffy. That's Luffy in a nutshell. I know this is random, but you put the Sonic and Brony fandom in one room together, my god, they'd be a bloodbath. No, because here's the thing. The Sonic fandom is vicious. The Brony fandom, they're not so vicious. They're bad. They're bad, but they're not vicious. They're not vitriol. They're not. Oh yeah, we're gonna cut your head off. Like you have to worry more about a Sonic fan than a Brony fan. That's all I gotta say. Trust me, I know.
Wow, what a girl boss. The feminazis are forcing us to watch little media. Everyone knows that in reality, boys are stronger than girls. Like, we know exactly what would happen.
I mean, objectively, like, there are characters, like, objectively, Toph isn't that strong physically. Like, she's not on par with, like, grown. If she didn't have her bending, she would just be a little girl. They do point that out. So, like, I don't... Okay. And again, the joke is that... this is like when you say with Sokka, like, oh, he wears a dress, It's kind of a joke. How much of a tomboy Toph actually is kind of a joke. The fact that she kind of sees herself as manly as, like, a big, tough man guy is literally a fucking joke. Like, you're taking it seriously. But, okay, my guy, sure. Go off, I guess. And if Toph came out today, people would call the small jokes about her blindness ableist. Yeah, they're not small jokes either. Toph doesn't like being blind, by the way. She openly admits she doesn't like it. So you're saying Sonic fandom would win? Yes. Yes, I am. Playing Sonic 2. Great game. Sonic 2 is probably the best Sonic game. Top 3. Fuck it, it's the best one. Sonic Mania is a close second.
Man. Also, bloodbending super bad. Yeah, bloodbending was considered like explicitly evil because the only thing you can do with it is control other people.
How is this a right-wing, left-wing thing?
Yeah. She does become a cop, but she leaves because... Let's not talk about Korra. Okay? Korra has mixed political messaging. I'm talking about The Last Airbender right now. Yes. Yeah. Let's no Korra discourse at the moment. We're just talking about the...
All right, on a good day, the Brony fandom is okay. If you don't start shit with Sonic fandom, it's best if you to kind of find a certain part which is completely insane and not look back. Bloodbending is Republican left. Yes. If you're the red MAGA hats are from the blood you've bended out of people's bodies. Yes. Also, my computer's messing up, so after this, I'm gonna call it like the stream over. Strictly because my computer is acting funky and it's worrying me, so I probably got to reset it. Hopefully it's not anything serious. I hope it's not anything serious. But yeah.
Last Airbender. Man. Blindness to build upon her character. Yeah. Oh, there was another cute episode too. When they were in...
Yeah, okay.
Or the Spies the Jet episode. You mean the one where Earth Kingdom renegades... use extreme measures to try to take out Fire Nation soldiers, even if it means killing like everyone, like all of them, and also allies. You know, let's flood a whole town. Yeah. And then he turns out to be the bad guy. Yeah, of course they would hate that. I can't believe this show is condemning the anti-colonial jet forces. Like he was going to kill like thousands of civilians, you know. Yeah. Literally a tanky. Yeah, and he ended up being.
I mean, third time, yeah. Like fuck, I don't like commies either. Again, 3 times a day, sure.
Creepy. Animated characters in the history of the medium in the West. He's that far up there.
Wait, hang on.
He actually might be. Talked about Iroh. Everyone knows about Iroh. He's perfect. Everyone knows him.
Okay.
Iroh is one of the most beloved characters, possibly in all of animated.
I'd love to see what he thinks about Iroh being like kind of a perv. I wonder like, yeah, Iroh's kind of a perv. Like, oh, Iroh's super wholesome. Like, no, he's kind of a perv. People forget that from Avatar. I think I've said it before, but they recently released Japanese dub Sonic X on Blu-ray. That's great. I still prefer the dub. Like, the dub's really good. Like, Jason Aaron is Sonic. I'm sorry. I mean, not Jason Aaron. Fucking, what's his name? Why do I think Jason Aaron fucking... Shit. Jason Griffith. Jason Griffith. Jason Griffith's the best Sonic. I'm sorry. I can't hear Sonic without thinking, oh, how does this guy differ from Jason Griffith?
Western canon. He actually might be one of the most well-celebrated
Western canon. Like, yeah, because all cartoons share the same universe, you fucking Nimrod. Okay.
Animated characters in the history of the medium in the West. He's that far up there. And he was a general who failed, and then he like retired, and everyone thought less of him for it, but he became more actualized and more evolved more as a person by being like an old dude wandering around taking care of his nephew.
Well, not really. Like, I'm pretty sure they confirmed that Iroh was like part of the White Lotus and all that other bullshit, like a while before he was like the general who like took over, who tried to take Ba Sing Se. So like, the whole thing with Iroh is realizing that basically Iroh was always kind of like that. He was like spiritually aware and shit like that. But the thing is, he had more loyalty towards his nation than anything else, and because of that, it got his son killed. And he kind of blames himself for it. That's Iroh's character, and once he realizes that, he tries to lead Zuko away from that ideology that, the honor of your personal honor is more important than the honor of your nation. That's literally what he tries to teach Zuko. Trying to find balance within yourself. That's literally what he tries to teach Zuko. But, it's not like, oh, he's a general who realized he didn't lose, like he lost a war or whatever. No, it's a little deeper than that, buddy. The one time you can look deeper into it and you're done. Okay.
And then when he showed up again to Ba Sing Se, it was to defend it against the Fire Nation, you know?
Yeah, but he already had that mindset well before. Okay.
Iroh has a problematic moment with June that people would lose their shit out if it came over today. That is totally right. Oh my god, thank you for reminding me. So there was a scene where they there's a scene. Oh yeah, I remember this. So actually everyone would despise this, okay? Everyone would. So anti-SJWs would despise June because she is the epitome of like girl boss badass, right?
No, like, what are you talking about? No one cares that June is a badass. No one cares. Like, no one actually cares. He's also a tea addict. Yes, he is. I was joking about like the whole, what do you think about him being a pervert? That's kind of funny. Bro, just a few days ago, a bunch of... Oh, sorry, guys, 1 second. All right, back. Yeah, like no one's against like badasses, like girls being badass or whatever. Again, this is a straw man. This is such a blatant straw man that it's actually kind of embarrassing. Oh, this girl kicks ass. You must hate this character. But whenever you say, "Oh yeah, but I like fucking Ripley from Aliens," and fucking Sarah Connor and all these other badass female heroes from like comic books and movies and TV shows. I like Buffy and shit like that. And you're like, no, that doesn't count. You hate them today. Like, I know, I still like them. As an adult, I still like them. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, does he genuinely think that, oh, yeah, and again, he's probably gonna say, oh, I'm talking about the anti-SJW crap. No, I'm tired of, like, pretending like it's all the same boat. I'm like, no, like, they really wouldn't make a big deal about it. They really wouldn't. June's a femme fatale, a pretty common trope. Most people don't have a problem with that unless you think it's overused. Yeah. Like, no one cares. Like, it's not even, like, June isn't even that big of a character. She's like in, like, 3 episodes. What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
And just beats everyone. Does anyone remember this? She showed, like, this is the Avatar and the Avatar's companions and like everyone else, and then she shows up and just whips ass, you know. Anyway, so the anti-SJWs would say this is a feminazi, whatever, blah blah blah. Anyway, she
like, would they though? Like ask yourself, would they actually go through the effort to say, yeah, this is feminazi bullshit because like this character, like again. I get it. Like you have this caricature of like the neckbeard basement dwelling YouTuber who like calls everything woke. I get it, and there are people who are like that. There are. I'm not gonna pretend they aren't. But like you're saying, like a majority of people are saying, oh, this is anti. You're not even really defining what woke is. You're saying, oh, they'd hate this because woman in show, and she's not like barefoot and giving birth to babies and cooking. So right wingers would hate it. Like fucking anti-SJW would hate it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Jesus Christ. Like, my God. Like, it's such a blatant straw man. That's the odd part about it.
She gets paralyzed by her own mount's like stinger tongue or whatever. And then
Uncle, I didn't see you get hit with the tongue.
Again, this is funny. This is very funny. This is funny. This is based. This Iroh is fucking based. What the fuck are you talking about? Random and weird, but do you think Korra is like the modern day Scrappy-Doo in a way? I mean, like, here's the thing. If you mean like Scrappy in a sense of like, yeah, they're trying to force a character to be, in order to be likable, I wouldn't go that far. Because, like, they're not really shoving it down our throats. Iroh is channeling his inner Master Roshi. Yes. Yes, Dan Guy. This is a Master Roshi move. You know your master is super ultra powerful if he's old and a pervert. If your master is old and a pervert, he's probably the most powerful character in your series. Yes, just
get it? See, she's paralyzed, so now he's like hugging her, but like he's not paralyzed and she knows. So it's like he's just like hugging her, you know? See, she's mad. I think it's funny that she's awake for that though, you know? It aged poorly. It did age poorly. However, the fact that she's awake does make it significantly funnier in retrospect. Because rather than
imagine living like this. Yeah, it's funny, but it's also aged terribly. I can't enjoy this because this is it's a joke that doesn't even go that far. It's not even like Roshi level. Roshi will straight up grope a woman. In the Tournament of Power, he threatened to even, redo the healer a woman. If you know, you know. But yeah, that's nowhere near as bad. It's a joke, my guy. Relax. It's not that deep. It's not.
Other than it being like he got away with it, you know, the moment she was able to move her muscles again, she like kicked him through a wall or something. That does make it better. That does improve the, yeah. It's like the show's like we're on to you anyway. Whatever.
Again, you can see him struggling just to say, yeah, it's funny, but it's also bad. It's not okay. Like, yeah, I mean, like, I guess, but again, it's a joke. It's a joke. No one's gotten hurt. It's not teaching anything to anyone badly. It's just a joke. Relax.
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't she literally kick his ass later? Yeah. Creepy old man comedy is something special. Anywhere in the show is he disrespectful towards women. So I think this is just like an aberration of writing more so than it is indicative of some underlying character flaw,
It's not really a character flaw, and again, it's like a quirk to his character. Also, it is kind of indicative because he does tell Zuko numerous times, yeah, you need to find some hoes. He tells Zuko numerous times, maybe if you had a girlfriend, you'd lighten up. He tells Zuko this numerous times. He's like, yeah, maybe get some pussy, man. Maybe you'll calm down. Maybe you won't be going off about honor and shit all the damn time, man. I don't know. Get it, like, fuck a girl. Eat a Snickers, bro. Calm down. That's literally part of his character, you could argue. So, yeah, I wouldn't even say, like, oh, it's an isolated incident. Like, no, Iroh's a bit of a perv, I guess. But not that bad. I guess he's not that bad, but still. He's not like Roshi or fucking, like, Jiraiya levels. But, okay.
They threw it in there because it'd be like, oh, haha, it's funny. But it's not like... And what we're supposed to take from this is that Iroh is sexually predatory because he's not anywhere. Yeah.
Again, dude, it's not that it's a joke. It's not that deep. My God.
Isn't she his niece though? No. The Zuko's his nephew. Remember that? That's another one they'd get super mad over. This is a good video called Avatar Would Be Cancelled. Anti-SJW. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What's his name? Ken from Street Fighter? Oh, Ryu, sorry, Ken's the other one. People miss out on a lot of good media.
Yeah, because it's a joke. It's a joke. They even, like, reference Street Fighter in the fucking scene. It's a joke. For fuck's sake, what is... My God, people pay this guy money for his opinions. They give this guy money for his opinions on things. Jesus Christ. We're doomed as a society. Holy shit.
Because they're told not to like it for political reasons. And I, honest to God, mean that both ways. I think there are a lot of conservative-leaning people who will miss out on a lot of really good stuff because the anti-SJW YouTubers or the quartering or whatever are like, it has a woman and a black guy in it.
No, it's like, yeah, here's the thing, again... Say what you will about your quarterings, your fucking... Vosh is autistic, so they tend to fail to read the room at times. At least Scrappy lived long enough to become the villain. Yeah. Oh my God, yes, thank you, gave me the power. Very cool. Oh my God, yeah. So my whole thing is like, yeah, you keep saying like people, no, it's like, here's the thing, yeah, like people, like say your quarterings, your critical drinkers, your fucking EFAP cash usuals or whatever, say what you will about them, but at the very least they're like, yeah, the reason this sucks is because everything you've seen in these previous movies that also fucking suck, all of the same bullshit that you see in all these other movies, it's the same thing here. Which is kind of why I've grown out of that content, because it is the same thing. Oh, did you hate Captain Marvel? Where all the shit that happened in Captain Marvel kind of happens in this movie too. That's what they're doing, Vosh. They're pointing out the pattern. That's what they're doing. And again, this isn't me dick riding these YouTubers or whatever. It's just me pointing out that it's nowhere near the same thing as like people stating, oh, you're not allowed to read these books or support this. Like you can't enjoy Harry Potter anymore because fucking J.K. Rowling doesn't agree with everything we believe in. Like, J.K. Rowling's a terrible person because she didn't say, hey, I think these people are valid. And you show Harry Potter's bad now, even though we spouted that it's the greatest thing of all time. It's better than the Bible until, like, the person who made it disagreed with me. And now all of a sudden there's a lot of problematic elements. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I can't believe how you can be this tone deaf. Because there are creators who make good content, and, like, I hate their politics, but I still, like their content. Yeah, like, an SJW's complaint about things being too white, too male, too straight. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, like, for some reason, like, he's probably gonna say, oh, but they do this too, but it's not equivalent. It's not an equivalency. Because you want to know the difference? Like, the right-wing grifters you just so happen to constantly talk about, at the very end of the day, they always happen to be right. And like I said earlier, even South Park is like the first big mainstream outlet that's actually fucking saying it. Finally saying what everyone's thinking. Yeah, this shit sucks. This shit sucks. Just throwing black people in there and using them as a shield to defend your shitty, mediocre third-grade writing. It sucks. You use it. It's a shield. It's a smokescreen to hide your subpar fucking writing and talent. I wouldn't even call it talent, because you're writing and doing the same fucking thing over and over again, just with a different character and a different story with a different studio. That's all they're doing. That's all they're fucking doing. And people are finally tired of pretending it doesn't happen. My God, how can you be this blind? Like, yeah, you don't have to like these people, but you can't pretend like, oh, they're just as bad as people who say, yeah, you're not allowed to like any of these movies or you're a problematic person. Or this movie doesn't pass the Blackdale test, a test that was actually a fucking joke by the person who made it. And even she admitted, oh yeah, that test that I made, most of my favorite movies don't even pass. Jesus Christ, I hate people like this so much.
And likewise, I think there are a lot of progressive people who are afraid to get into pieces of media that are known for having dicier communities.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck off. Oh, this community is a little dicey. We're going to avoid that. No, if anything, I'm pretty sure most people who are left-leaning have the worst communities. You know how many progressives are in the fucking furry community, for example? Holy shit. Are you really going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, they don't want to get into it because it's a dicey community? No, they don't want to get into it because either A, the thing doesn't appeal to their worldviews, or B, the person who made it doesn't appeal to their worldviews. That's it. That's literally it. There's no middle ground. Even Ryan admitted that Blade movie was going through so much crap that its script, to the point where Blade was signed by a couple of them. Yeah, exactly. People are tired of pretending this doesn't exist. People are tired of it, Vosh. If you have a checklist of people you need to have in a movie, you don't see... Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dragon. Thank you, Dan Guy. It's just so fucking stupid. This is a really stupid fucking video. Like, my God. I know only 5 people are watching, and I hope you guys see this. Don't be like Vosh. Don't go out of your way to claim that, oh, yeah, let's make content that'll own the chuds, but, like, they'll also be like, oh, yeah, you know, just, you know, if people... Progressives are just afraid of the communities. That's all it is. That's why I don't consume certain media. Yep, that doesn't work both ways. It only works one way. It only works one way. There's no 2 ways about it. Yeah, okay.
You know, maybe because they don't want to engage with it or whatever. When there's a lot of good stuff there, you know, like Warhammer 40K. I've been talking.
Yeah, and like a lot of progressives are trying to change Warhammer 40K. Like, seriously, so many, like, how are you this blind? Jesus Christ, so many people, like, I'm not even into Warhammer, a lot of my friends are. Yeah, I like Dan Harmon, but I still like his work. Yeah, Dan Harmon's funny. A douchebag, but he's, like, not even a douchebag, he's an asshole. Fuck Dan Harmon, he's an asshole. An abusive asshole. But here's the thing, like, he says, like, that's a good example, Warhammer, they constantly try to change Warhammer or whatever to be like, oh, yeah, you know, we want more women in Warhammer, and people point out, but the Sisters of Battle exist. They're not like part of the main force or whatever, but the Sisters of Battle do exist. And even then, they're like, yeah, there's a canonical reason why that's the way it is. It's because it's a fucking grim dark sci-fi story, where men specifically are pretty much put through like a fucking meat grinder. Like you can't go into Warhammer without having some level of irony and self-awareness. Which is something ironically many leftists lack. Many leftists like Bosch lack.
talking about it a lot lately because I've been reading the books, but like the Warhammer universe has so much cool stuff in it, you know? And yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I'm not gonna Rick and Morty. No, but you know what I mean, though, right? Like, remember what Anita Sarkeesian so widely said? You know, wisely. Sorry. Well, I guess she said it widely.
Oh my god. Oh my god. He's really gonna guys clip this because you're gonna see me like. You're gonna see me get really upset if you're like taking something that Anita Sarkeesian says is gospel. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm good. Okay, let's get. They're almost done. After this, we're gonna get out for this. But here we go.
Widely and wisely. It's okay to enjoy problematic media as long as you're aware of its more pernicious elements. It's just like that, you know. If you know there's something up with it, but that doesn't mean you can't watch and enjoy it. You know, you can watch it and think, well, that's not great, but you can enjoy the rest of it, you know? And sometimes you can appreciate things in
everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything's problematic and homophobic. Yeah, because that's a good way to like digest fucking media, my guy. That won't make you a miserable, sheltered person who can't handle criticism or like different opinions on the internet. That definitely won't end up to any negative connotations in the future. Because that's a healthy way to look at life. That's a really, really healthy way to look at life. These people, man, I really hope the world wakes up. I really hope the world wakes up and realizes these people are idiots. I'm sorry, I know this is gonna be like a lighthearted fucking Avatar stream. You know, we're going over some Avatar cringe, but I like this just disheartens me. I'm tired of this shit, bro. I'm tired, boss. God damn it. I'm tired of this bullshit. Holy fuck.
In their context, kind of in part because of the problematic elements a little bit.
Wait, what did he said?
Watch it and think, well, that's not great, but you can enjoy the rest of it, you know? And sometimes you can appreciate things in their context, kind of in part because of the problematic elements a little bit. Because it's like a reminder for how far we've come. Maybe you can think of it that way. You know what I mean? Like if you go back and you watch like really good movies from like Casablanca, for example, if you can watch that. It's not like modern progressive standards are being upheld in this 3 trillion year old movie, but it's a good movie. It's good. The old
maybe because it's not abiding by circumstances of making sure everything is PC and fly over people and won't like offend, I don't know, fucking ants, bisexual, non-binary, anti-identifying people. Maybe that's why it's good. Maybe it's because they focused on actually telling a good story and didn't give a shit. And the best part is, like, Casablanca, I wouldn't even consider has like problematic elements. I've seen Casablanca; it doesn't really have any problematic elements. Like, that's a bad example. Maybe like fucking Breakfast at Tiffany's or something. I don't know, but like, fucking Casablanca's a bad example, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, the problem is that they try to find problematic things in the mildest crap. Yeah, again, these people can't just enjoy something. People like Vosh can't just enjoy something. Everything is sexist, everything is problematic, everything is racist and homophobic or whatever, and you gotta call it out every time, because that's definitely not a way to look miserable. Yeah, it's just kind of sad. Again, he talked about Iroh and they went on a big rant about, oh no, Iroh's a good person. He like that one scene where he like was being a perv it doesn't count. Like, yeah, dude, just it doesn't matter. Okay, it's a joke. Relax. You're going out of your way to like say, oh, like right wingers would be triggered about Avatar, but like so far, I don't know, man. You haven't really proved your point.
Indiana Jones films too, you know? You can take a look at those and think like, oh, well, it's not great, but you know, hey, cool, history.
Oh my god. Okay. The scene where Zuko confronts Ozai about Fire Nation propaganda after he joins Team Avatar is what reminds me very clearly anti-war, anti-nationalism. We're taught Fire Nation with the greatest civilization in the world, sharing our they don't see us for our greatness. They hate us, and we deserve it. I mean, again, that's not a right-wing, left-wing thing. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let's not forget the moment Iroh misidentified Smeller Bee as a boy on the ship to Ba Sing Se, in the sweet moment when Longshot reassured her that identity depends only on her own perception of herself and never forgetting who you are. I mean, again, Smeller Bee was also just a fucking tomboy. That's all it was. It really isn't a miracle. Nothing about Avatar aged poorly, considering it came out in the 2000s, an era infamous for being mean and cringy. Okay, yeah, guy. Okay. He didn't mention not by killing him, by taking his power away. Great show. Again, the right would call Sokka wearing a Kyoshi dress for. Okay, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. Dear God, I can't stand people. I'm officially kind of annoyed now. My computer's glitching out, so like I'm gonna reset it. Thanks for joining in on the stream. This has been I've been miserable. This has made me miserable. Thank you, chat, for like keeping me sane throughout these times. I really do appreciate it. I really do love you. I wanted to do something different, like just have a stream where I'm just by myself. I didn't think I could carry a podcast by myself, like a whole stream by myself, but I did. I didn't have guests or whatever. I like this. I like this. I might do more if I like get the money to do so. Shout out to the hoodlums. Yes. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. Thanks for joining a stream. I appreciate all of you. Love, peace, good night.